energized and hungry for an upset of the 5th-ranked Auburn Tigers. And a lot of Tiger fans making the trip to watch the defending SEC champs. One more non-conference game for Auburn after tonight, and then SEC play begins. Nick Marshall, a Heisman Trophy candidate, but was suspended in week 1 for the first half. And in week 2, looked good at times, but also struggled. Had a fumble in that game against San Jose State. Jake Waters single-handedly almost led Kansas State to a comeback win against Iowa State 2 weeks ago. He'll try to knock off Auburn tonight. This has been the Nissan pregame rush. And hi, everybody, alongside Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Dave Pash in for Reese Davis. Lost his father, Reese. We're certainly playing it for you. Well, guys, this is a game with playoff implications. I love saying that. The fact we can say that now in college football and in September, but it's a big one between Kansas State and Auburn. Tell me one thing that Kansas State has to do to pull the upset. Defensively, they have to win first down. They don't have a lot of depth. That could be deadly against Auburn's tempo. So if they win first down, they want to get off the field. You've got to put Auburn behind the chains. They got to do Kansas State football. What is that? That means make plays in special teams. Don't commit 10 penalties and win the turnover battle. That's what Bill Snyder's done forever here, and that's how they got to. That's their recipe to win. What this would do for the Big 12 if Kansas State could somehow pull the upset, if Auburn wins, and it just affirms what most people think, that the SEC is far and away still the best conference in college football. And Bill Snyder, 23rd year, year 6 of his second stint. 2 years ago, they were in the national championship picture. A little bit of a struggle last year, played well down the stretch, finished 8-5. They're 2-0 this year. Malzahn's team 2-0. Some thought Auburn was lucky last year, many wondering if they're a one-year wonder. Maybe we'll begin to answer that question tonight. Auburn won the toss and will receive. That's Rock Thomas, a true freshman, very talented, who is deep, along with Corey Grant. And we are underway on Thursday night. That kick angled toward the sideline, and a big break here for Auburn to start the game with excellent field position as Patterson kicks it out of bounds. Now let's take a look at our impact players in this ball game tonight. Cameron Artis-Payne, a pair of 100 rushing yard games already. Sammy Coates is back. He's healthy. The guy on the other side's pretty good. Junior college transfer Duke Williams. Keep an eye on Ryan Mueller. Second team All-American last year. 11.5 sacks rather. Be interesting to watch him against this Auburn offense tonight. Nick Marshall. A couple of rushing touchdowns already this season. And he'll throw it on first down. And the pass is caught at midfield. 14th catch for Duke Williams this year. And Nick Marshall, we've seen him last year come on the scene, and his legs have been the difference in making this offense go to the next level. If he continues to evolve in the passing game, this is an offense that can't be stopped. Let's see how he does early, airing it out, too. And here's Marshall on the keeper, and he dives for about 3 or 4 yards. Tripped up by Dante Barnett, so second down and 7 coming up. This is a place that Gus Malzahn loves to crank the tempo up. After the first down of a drive is really where he puts the pedal to the metal. Both teams had last weekend off. Auburn beat San Jose State 2 weeks ago. Kansas State, as we mentioned, that win at Iowa State. It's a low pass by Marshall, incomplete, intended for Quan Bray. So it's third down and long. Consistent accuracy is something we're going to be looking for from Nick Marshall. He's a good enough thrower to make those types of throws. If this offense is going to be as balanced as it can be, he needs to come up with that. Now a huge third down for this Kansas State defense to get off the field early. And this is where Kansas State wants Auburn, forcing Marshall to throw the football here in third and long. To the sideline, broken up. Intended for Coates. Denzel McDaniel got a hand in there. It's fourth down. Sammy Coates missed the San Jose State game with a leg injury. 2 weeks later, hasn't been playing a lot of football. Here just running a curl route, and that's a better job by the cornerback, Denzel McDaniel, out competing Coates, knocking that away. Huge win.
for Kansas State's D.
A true freshman punter for Auburn. Matthew Shield will boot it to Tyler Lockett. It's good for Kansas State that he's out there because he has not been 100%. They weren't sure if he was going to return punts tonight. Very dynamic player. And you see the true freshman had trouble with a snap. He gets rid of it, though. Does a great job. Look at that.
Wow.
Inside the 15 and out of bounds around the 12.
Talk about disaster that could have been. I mean, Kansas State get a stop right out the gates and then watch the snap to the right. And he doesn't catch it, but look at the awareness just to make it a rugby-style kick that we've seen in college football and to avoid disaster early in the game.
So our first look at Kansas State's offense, and Jake Waters, second-year junior college transfer from Iowa, as we look at our impact players, and Tyler Lockett, who last year caught over 80 footballs, 7 catches on the season. Casanova McKenzie, keep an eye on him at middle linebacker, and Montravius Adams, who is pushing people around week 2. Will they get the effort from him every snap, though, that the coaches are hoping? They need it in a game like this. First down to the K-State 12, and here's Waters running. Brought down after a gain of 2, grabbed at the ankles by Jonathan Ford.
I think a big key in this game is which team can control the game with their tempo, and Kansas State wants to slow it down. In order to do that, they need Jake Waters to run the ball efficiently, and I think his physicality, guys, is going to be tested. You get the feeling this could be that game. He may have to tote it 20, 25 times against this Auburn defense.
So a gain of 2 on first down. Waters audibling, play clock at 5. And Waters in trouble. Gets rid of it. Incomplete. A little bit behind Curry Sexton. There was pressure from Jonathan Ford. Auburn is without Jermaine Whitehead, the veteran safety who's suspended indefinitely, so they need guys like Ford to step up.
And this is big picture for Auburn. They haven't had a great pass rush so far. You see them bringing extra bodies in the delayed blitz by Ford. They've got to be able to pressure the quarterback. It was a strength a year ago with D. Ford, Carl Lawson. Both those guys aren't here anymore.
So we talked about Jake Waters being mobile. Big third down if you're Auburn's defense. You've got to contain him and keep him in the pocket. Do not let him get outside and use his legs.
And that's the one thing Ellis Johnson, the D coordinator, stressed with us yesterday. And the pocket breaking down. And there's contact in the secondary. And here comes the flag. The defender, Jonathan Jones, is saying he just got entangled with the receiver, Tyler Lockett, but this is going to be a first down.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 3. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Going back and taking a look at this, Jake Waters wants to go to Tyler Lockett. At the bottom, you're going to see his shoes going to come off as their feet get entangled up right there. It's a good call.
I think they tripped, but the grab up top, if he didn't grab him, obviously, it wouldn't have been pass interference, but because he grabbed him up top, it was pass interference.
And a fumble on first down. Waters trying to dive on it, and he did not come up with it, so it's still free. Auburn appears to have it. Still no signal yet by the referee. Waters had the first chance to jump on it. It squirted away from him, and it is Auburn ball.
Wow.
So you get a near disaster on the punt, you escape that, and now you get a turnover in the red zone.
Well, David mentioned at the very top, this is not Bill Snyder football. You're going to see here a simple zone read. Jake Waters trying to pull it, and it looked at some point like DeMarcus Robinson, the running back, knocked it out of his hand. But we talked about there being no penalties. We saw a kickoff go out of bounds on the very first play for Kansas State. We talked about there being no turnovers, playing smart football. Now you give this offense, Auburn, one of the best in the country, the football, right on the edge of your red zone.
Robinson Threezy was the man that recovered the fumble for Auburn. And that time Artis Payne, Randall Evans was back there for Kansas State, had a big interception against Iowa State a couple weeks ago, so it'll be second down and 10.
There's not a superstar per se on this Kansas State defense, but everybody does a good job playing in their gaps. And that time you see Randall Evans, a former walk-on, bringing pressure off the edge, doing a nice job with his speed, getting into the backfield, setting up 2nd and 10.
Speed, they got Corey Grant on the field now, too.
They move him into the backfield and hand it off to him on the sweep, and he is knocked down for a loss. McDaniel, the 1-yard setback, 3rd and long.
And this is exactly the start that Kansas State wanted, but great job identifying personnel. When Corey Grant comes on the field, he's not running between the tackles. He wants to get out wide. Great job by Kansas State understanding that and being ready for it.
So another situation for Nick Marshall, 3rd and long, having to deliver. Remember, very loud, very hard to communicate down on this end of the field playing on the road.
Already an incompletion on 3rd down and 7. And Marshall taken down, but he doesn't have the ball. It's Corey Grant. He only gets to the 17, though, brought down by Green. You guys talked about it when you were watching film yesterday about tackling a guy even if he doesn't have the ball. They did that on Marshall, but they also got the guy that did have the ball, Corey Grant, 4th down.
You see Ryan Mueller, number 44, coming off the edge. He takes Nick Marshall, forces him to hand the football off, and after that, it's incumbent upon this secondary making tackles in the open field. And so far on 2 drives, they've done a very good job of that.
Daniel Carson, redshirt freshman place kicker. He had been punting also this year, a 34-yard attempt. Only his 4th field goal try this year. And it is good. And the Tigers get 3 points off the Kansas State fumble. Could have been worse, though. The Wildcats hold after the turnover in the red zone. Along with David Pollack, Jesse Palmer, Sam Ponder down in the field. I'm Dave Pasch. 3-0 Auburn. And if you're Kansas State, all right, obviously discouraged about the fumble, but encouraged that your defense was able to hold, right?
Well, I think the big question for everybody was, could Kansas State handle the stage? We talked about Auburn being the highest-ranked non-conference opponent here since 1969. You got the SEC champion, nationally televised game. All week they've been talking about a record crowd. And, you know, opening kickoff goes out of bounds. You turn the ball over early for Bill Snyder. You'd like to see your team. There's a lot of juniors and seniors and a lot of experience respond better.
Lockett is the deep man. He's returned 4 for touchdowns, but he won't even get a shot here. It will come out to the 25. Saturday night on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo, the #1 team in the country, Florida State, taking on Clemson. Remember, last year the Seminoles went to Death Valley and smoked the Tigers. They won't have Jameis Winston, though, suspended for the first half. Sean McGuire makes his first career start. Only 5 games in his career. And Winston will play the second half. Did you guys agree with the 1-half suspension?
I don't. I don't think. I think you needed to make a point. I think a half a game doesn't necessarily make a point.
I like it because I think they could lose the game now that Winston's not playing the first half.
Here's Robinson trying to pick a hole. Instead, he is grabbed up and thrown down by Gabe Wright at the point of attack. No gain.
The defensive line is supposed to be the strength for Auburn's defense, but they've been wildly inconsistent. And guys like Gabe Wright, who started the year playing outside of defensive ends, moved back to his natural position at defensive tackle. He's quick. He can win those one-on-ones. You're going to see Montravius Adams, Elijah Daniels, some of these other guys, they've got to play at a very high level all game long for Auburn.
And right to the air, and Lockett on the grab. First down, out to the 38. It's a 13-yard gain where the middle linebacker Casanova McKenzie, the leading tackler, makes the stop.
And that's a great job recognizing man coverage by Waters. And watch the pick route at the bottom of the screen. You can't see it right there, but they do a great job. Sexton does a good job, number 14, of getting his body in the way of the defenders. And Lockett comes underneath clean because of it. They do a great job designing plays.
Had a hamstring injury a couple weeks ago. Did not play the entire game against Iowa State, but good to go tonight. Auburn stacking the box. Here's a forward pass that Lockett could not break a tackle. Otherwise, it would have had a first down. Halsey, who is starting for the suspended Whitehead, made the tackle.
That's one thing about Kansas State's offense, guys. They force you to be physical on defense. It's not just stopping the power running game, but it's on the perimeter of the field. Forcing defensive backs to get off blocks. That time, number 3, Jonathan Jones can't do it. And you're seeing an All-American last year, Tyler Lockett, getting looks early and often. That is a good game plan for Bill Snyder in Kansas State.
Got 8 on first down. A shift by the offensive line for Kansas State. They're going to keep it on the ground this time, and Charles Jones hard to run outside against Auburn, and several Tigers over there, including Rudy Ford, who maybe the tackle fans here wanted a flag but not going to get it for late hit.
I don't think Auburn really respects their ability to throw the football. They got a lot of guys close to the line of scrimmage. You're going to see safety Jonathan Ford, a lot of speed. There's a lot of speed all over the field for Auburn, but Ford was a guy that they flirted with moving to cornerback. They flirted with moving him to running back this offseason. Very good athlete. And again, you mentioned no Jermaine Whitehead in the secondary. They need him to make plays.
Third down, you still got to respect Jake Waters. He's a runner. You see him do it over and over again with his feet, being able to scramble.
Clear the middle of the field right now.
Yep.
Waters going to throw, and right at the first down marker, the catch is made by Curry Sexton. We'll see where they spot it. And it looks like he's going to be just short. 4th down and half a yard.
Oof.
What do you think? Bill Snyder keeping his offense on the field here. You agree with that?
Well, I'll tell you what, they've been very good on 4th down this year. In this situation, they like to go quarterback sneak with Jake Waters. That's the thing they do on 4th and 1.
Or they go Wildcat. They've done both.
They got Waters under center here. Got the fullback, Gronkowski. Maybe they'll just try to draw Auburn offside here if they can, and they do. Angelo Blackson shoves the center, B.J. Finney, and it'll be a first down.
I think Angelo Blackson's coming out of the game.
Offside, defense, number 86. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now they also got Devontae Lambert.
I play defensive line. I have forgiveness for people jumping off sides, but never a nose tackle. Never a guy that's lined up literally. You're lined up on the ball. You can't jump off sides when you're lined up on the ball.
And also, you're a senior, and you understand situationally 4th and short.
Big hole here for Jones into the secondary. Tripped up by Halsey, but still gets inside the 35-yard line. 13 more yards for Kansas State.
This is a very experienced offensive line. They do a great job playing in unison. This is a simple zone blocking scheme. Charles Jones, tremendous vision there on the cutback lane. Explosive play.
So far, Waters 3 of 4 passing. Carried the ball a couple times. First down inside the Auburn 35. And Lockett could not hang on to the ball. It's a forward pass, so it's incomplete. Trying to set up that wide receiver screen.
You can tell how much Tyler Lockett means to this offense. And again, guys, early this year, a bit of a hamstring issue. Wasn't 100% week in, week out, but he's one of the best wide receivers in the Big 12. And he's really their biggest weapon anywhere on the perimeter of their field. Really the biggest weapon on special teams and offense. Can't afford to put balls on the ground. This is big.
Dad Kevin was a great player here. Has all the receiving records at Kansas State. Tyler likely to break those before he's done. And Waters, he gets walloped at the line of scrimmage. He lost a yard. Devontae Lambert on the stop. It'll bring up 3rd and long, guys.
And if you're just watching Kansas State, you're kind of confused. Like, wait, why didn't he run in there? Quarterbacks do a great job of being patient and waiting for holes to open. Show me the hole. Great job by Auburn's defensive line. Making some penetration and not giving them anywhere to run.
Okay, so here's again another big 3rd down. Jake Waters has been very good, very accurate on these 3rd downs so far. These DBs for Auburn, you got to win. Keep the ball in front of you.
3rd and 11. Wonder if they get a good chunk here, but don't get the first down, or they go for it again on 4th down. Waters with time, and the pass is caught. First down to the 15-yard line. Cody Cook, former quarterback, now playing wideout. They get 20 yards on 3rd and 11.
The quarterback's accuracy goes way up when he's got time to throw. Firstly, take a look at this pocket Jake Waters has to throw from. No white jerseys in front of him. Able to survey the field. He finds a former quarterback in Cody Cook, JUCO transfer, making the nice catch.
Well, you guys wondered about Auburn's defense. They've given up 3rd down 11 there, 20-yard completion. We'll see how they respond now that they're in the red zone. Here's a fade to the end zone. It was caught. There's a flag down. He was out of bounds. Lockett caught it anyway. He was out of bounds, but another penalty marker, likely for interference on Auburn. Jonathan Jones defending Lockett again.
It's going to be the 2nd pass interference call on Jones.
Ball stayed up there a while, huh?
Yeah.
Pass interference, number 3 of the defense. The ball will be placed on the 2-yard line. It's down.
Guys like that call, taking that shot there after picking up the first down, Dave?
And Lockett's only 5'11", but make no mistake, he gets up there and makes contested catches all the time, just like right here. I mean, he has great concentration. He got his feet. He wasn't even close to inbounds when the pass interference happened. And you got to force feed him. He's the guy on the field that could easily, you say, could go for Auburn and play. I mean, he's that talented. He's one of the best in this position in this country.
So they love the Wildcat down here close. Here's Charles Jones lining up in the backfield. All 4 of his rushing touchdowns this year have come from this formation.
Jones picks a hole and lunges to the 1-yard line. So 2nd down and goal coming up. See if they stick with that formation here.
It's tough sledding. And one thing you can say, Auburn has been inconsistent up front, but they got some big bodies at these defensive linemen. They can plug these gaps. That's got to be the main priority. Jake Waters coming back in at quarterback now, but again, the quarterback run, the power run, you got to be careful of.
Play 11 of the drive. Got Jones behind him here. Waters to the air and through the hands of the wide receiver and picked off by Jones. Unable to come up with a catch was Tyler Lockett. Jones flagged twice already in the first quarter. Now gets an interception.
Kansas State shooting themselves in the foot. You saw the fumble earlier on a zone read play, giving Auburn the ball back in the red zone. This is a perfect throw from Jake Waters, going back to their best football player on offense, Tyler Lockett. 2nd time he's dropped it. Big turnover for Auburn.
Got to make that catch. You want to beat Auburn right in the chest. So no points, and Auburn already +2 takeaways.
ESPN Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Now the Wildcat Marching Band, cheerleaders, and mascot paid a visit last night to the Power Cat Sports Bar. Special thanks to John Lindsay and the whole crew there for the night before one of the biggest games in Kansas State history, certainly at home. And with the fans outside the stadium, we could have a record tonight for a Kansas State home game. Seats about 52,000. Here's Grant off the edge and pushed out right at the first down marker at the 30-yard line.
You got to have tremendous eye discipline as a defense, and it's hard to do that. When you've got a quick huddle, they get lined up quickly. You got linemen going one way, faking handoffs. Then you got Corey Grant, who this coaching staff is clocked at sub 4.2. Handheld. Pretty bad.
Already 2 turnovers by Kansas State here in the opening quarter after just 1 the first 2 weeks. Grant did get the first down, so a fresh set here for the Tigers. Grant this time wrapped up in the backfield, taken down by DeCorey Johnson. A negative play there.
And it's amazing. You watch Kansas State defense on tape, and we've talked about it. There's not a lot of guys you're going to point to individually, but look at that. Guys getting off blocks, trying to make plays. Even with 5, 6 guys in the box, they're always where they're supposed to be, and they're very sound, which is a good test for this Auburn offense.
They've always been that way.
Yep. Bill Snyder.
Marshall pulls it back to throw, looking deep on 2nd and long, going for Coates. Just past his outstretched arms, incomplete.
And in the big picture, guys, what I like is Kansas State more often than not defensively has 1 first down. You see here, setting up 2nd and long, so they take a shot deep down the field to another burner, and that ball just off the outstretched hands of Sammy Coates. But now 3rd and long, and this is why Kansas State has gotten Auburn off the field. Auburn only had 7 offensive plays before this drive. You don't got to worry about tempo and getting gassed. You can win 1st down.
A timeout. Marshall has missed on his last 3 pass attempts. We'll see what he does on 3rd and 11 when we come back to Manhattan. Back in Manhattan, Auburn leading 3-0. They've taken the ball away twice from Kansas State. Held to 3 on the first time. The last turnover came in the end zone.
It's Ryan Mueller at the top. He's their best pass rusher. He's got the crowd behind him.
Trying to get their first 3rd down conversion of the night. Pass thrown underneath. And they do a good job wrapping up the receiver, Marcus Davis. Randall Evans, it's one-on-one out there on that sideline, and it's 4th down.
But again, winning 1st down, setting up 3rd and long, and then tackling in space. Something you must do against all of this speed and the playmakers Auburn has in the perimeter. This has been a very impressive start for Kansas State's defense.
That's a side of the ball we thought might struggle here in the 1st quarter, whereas the offense turned it over twice. Really unforced errors, too. You had the fumble on the exchange and then just the drop by Lockett. Short punt. And a different punter that time. And Lockett has room. Lockett past the 45. Great return by Lockett inside the 45-yard line of Auburn.
And if Kansas State's going to pull this upset, they need production out of Lockett and in the special teams. You see the great blocks, and watch the cuts. In the open field, he's as dangerous as anybody in college football. They need Lockett to make plays. He already messed up on the missed touchdown and cost him an interception, trying to make up for it.
Jake Waters retaking the field. Let's get an update on his situation from Sam.
Yeah, he said he knew it was going to be a physical game. It started early for him. He's been bleeding from his chin or mouth area. They got it fixed a little bit, guys, but if you saw the look on his teammates' faces, it did not look good. He had his chin strap completely full of blood. We'll see if that plays a role here.
Going to hand it off here on 1st down, and no running room for DeMarcus Robinson. And look at him push the pile to the 40-yard line for a 3-yard pickup.
But I think the best defense for Kansas State in this game can be their offense. And guys, if they can stay on the field and go 8, 10, 12 play drives and come away with points and keep Nick Marshall and the rest of those guys on the sidelines, that's a pretty good deal. Now, that sounds great in theory, and you've got to execute at such a high level. And you can't have penalties, you can't have turnovers and mistakes, which they've had. But this offense so far has done a good job, you know, these last 2 series here, finding yardage.
About to run their 16th play here of the opening quarter. They had Waters to the air. A pass high, but pulled in by Curry Sexton. Ford there on the coverage, couple of yards short of the 1st down, so 3rd down and about 2.
And it's very simple what Kansas State's doing right now. When you're playing off and you're leaving him open, he's throwing it right now. It's quick routes. You're going to pay a lot of attention to Lockett. But look right here. Look at the cushion right here you got. Huge cushion. That's an easy throw. It's stealing. Remember, they're without their best safety in this ball game. Playing safe, playing back. You've got to close that gap or else they're going to throw it all game long.
They got their heavy package in here for 3rd and 1 with Gronkowski at fullback. Yes, that is one of their Gronk brothers. He's the youngest of 5. Here's the pitch to Robinson. And he steps out of bounds after he gets the 1st down to the 31.
Right on cue with Gronk, wasn't it?
We just mentioned him. He's dangerous in this offense because of his ability catching the football. But take a look right here, number 48 on this option play outside. Watch him outflank the defense, get his shoulder pad square, and he's able to cut linebacker Chris Frost, and that allows Robinson to get the edge and convert that 1st down.
You got Rob tweeting at his brother tonight. And Waters on the keeper. Had to spin away from Ford. Took another shot. He's to the 27 for 4 yards. Bro
Powers, hashtag. There's a lot of them, by the way. It's not just Rob.
Yeah, there's 5 of them.
Football family. And this one's actually quiet.
That's what they told us.
Are you saying the other ones aren't?
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit louder.
Waters trying to find a running lane. Able to get inside the 25 for 3 yards. Tackled by Chris Frost. It's 3rd down.
It's almost like having another running back in the backfield. And if you remember watching Colin Klein at Kansas State, it was much of the same. Power running game. It's not like Auburn where it's finesse with Nick Marshall. Jake Waters is going downhill. And as a defense, it wears you out after a while having to tackle a big quarterback for 4 quarters.
Colin Klein is on the staff, by the way.
Yeah.
Defensive quality control is what he's doing, but does work with quarterbacks some. 3rd down and 3.
You got the cushion to get at the bottom right here.
And Waters instead throws incomplete. Not sure if there was miscommunication between Waters and either Sexton or Lockett, but it's 4th down, and here comes the field goal team.
It looked like that time he was trying to throw that tunnel screen down to Tyler Lockett, which we've seen him try both sides of the field oftentimes in this first quarter. Auburn very aggressive on defense, trying to take that away. Now setting up a kick for Cantelli.
There's some wind down on the field.
41 yards, you're right. There is a lot of wind, and it's kind of swirling in this game.
And he misses it wide to the left, and you saw the wind. I think it was going to miss anyway, but it blew it even further left. So another missed opportunity for Kansas State inside the Auburn 25.
But you know what? First of all, look at the missed kick. It looks like the wind had something to do with it. But yeah, you're right, Dave. It was close, but it's still a win. I know it sounds negative, but they held their defense off the field for a little bit. They moved the ball. They ate the time of possession. They got 6 defensive linemen they rotate. Yeah. They have to stay fresh. So you still ate some clock and got some production, but you wanted points.
Yeah, but you kind of think it's only a matter of time, though, for Auburn to break a big play.
No doubt. Can't keep giving these guys possession without coming away with points.
Artis Payne shifting into the backfield with Marshall. And here's Artis Payne straight ahead of the 28, a 4-yard pickup. And that might be the final play of the opening quarter.
And we've seen a lot of pass so far. Is this when they want to start showing some physicality?
This is Gus Malzahn, guys. They're going again.
Good point. Should have known better. And they get a big hole here. Artis Payne getting the first down to the 35. Clock will stop to move the chains. But,
look at another one in. Hold on. Look at it.
Go. Snap it. Play clock hit 0. That's it.
I don't know. Palmer with the play clock hitting 0. Is that familiar from last Saturday?
Florida, Kentucky. Ooh.
Well, Auburn had scored an offensive touchdown in 31 of its last 32 quarters prior to tonight. They do lead, though, 3-0, thanks to Kansas State turnover in the red zone.
We've seen a lot of uncustomary mistakes early by the Auburn offense. They wanted to throw the ball earlier. Here's a missed throw and a hitch by Nick Marshall. They try to deep post to Sammy Coates, barely overthrown. Not that much easier when they tried to run it, Dave.
No, and trying to run it up the gut, see what they can get with Artis Payne, Corey Grant. Haven't had success, really, but now I think you feel like it's time. They're going to run the ball more and more now and get back to what they do.
Only 49 yards of total offense in the first quarter. Artis Payne grabbed by Mueller after a gain of about 3. So that's 3 straight run plays. Let's see if they get on a run here. He's just handing it off.
And it's going to challenge Kansas State. We've talked how they play very well together as a unit. Seeing the zone read for Bill Snyder and Kansas State, not uncommon, guys. They see it all the time in the Big 12. They see it from their own offensive practice. Not quite like this, though, with all the speed that Auburn has.
And a Heisman candidate, perhaps, at quarterback. He completes it that time, so they do go back to the air. And Duke Williams at 6'2", 216, able to break a tackle and get near the first down. And really giving Auburn another weapon on the outside opposite Sammy Coates.
You see Gus Malzahn going back up. Super tempo right now.
Marshall off the edge, able to break a shoelace tackle attempt. Out of bounds at midfield. It's a 5-yard pickup.
The guys, Kansas State defensively, they don't sub a lot of guys. And,
No.
and they told us that they were ready. They trust their conditioning, ready for a 12-round fight. Gus Malzahn wants to crank up the plays and see if he can tire this Kansas State defense out.
Saw the passing numbers there for Marshall. Will hand it off to Artis Payne. And look at Mueller again in there on the stop. Senior from Leawood, Kansas, former walk-on. One of the best pass rushers in the Big 12.
And it's third and medium. This is still where you want Auburn's offense if you're Kansas State. Get them in these situations where you have to pass. You also have to worry about containing the pocket. And don't let Nick Marshall run.
So what if you're Auburn, a guy that's shown up in the first 2 games, and even in this game, Duke Williams, #1 JUCO player a year ago at the top of the screen.
And you got Coates at the bottom of the screen. And Marshall's looking for Duke, but it's batted down, incomplete. Travis Britz, who's one of the best at blocking kicks, got up high to knock down the pass. It's 4th down.
Nick Marshall had the one-on-one matchup to Duke Williams, lining up against Danzel McDaniel at the top. But here's Britz, 6'4", great job. Knows he's not going to get to the quarterback. Put your hands up, bat that ball down.
And we talked about all that speed on the outside. Kansas State, they're okay playing man coverage on the outside. You've seen it early. DB's holding up fine against Duke Williams. And Sammy Coates on the outside.
And Gus had seen enough of Matthew Shield, the true freshman punter, so he's going to Carlson again here to boot it away. Shield, remember, dropped the snap. Still able to get the punt away. This is a short kick to win. Holding that up. Almost hit a Kansas State player, but Wildcats will have possession. Auburn's offense unable to get anything going. 0 for 4 on 3rd down, but a 3-0 lead.
And it's 3-0 Auburn, but Kansas State could be up 10-0. It's been missed opportunities. They backed up in their own end. Fumble that nobody even touched. It was a miscommunication. Going in to score. Their best player, Tyler Lockett, misses it. Causes an interception, and they give up 3 more points on a field goal. This could easily be a 10-3 game. Their defense is playing their A game.
It's a 13-point swing because they spotted Auburn their field goal opportunity after the fumble in their own end.
Kansas State back on offense after Auburn failed on 3rd down. They've had an average of 3rd and 8, and they're 0 for 4. Waters going to work. And, oh, he gets hit hard at the 18-yard line by Devontae Lambert. So a loss on the play. Let's go to the studio and check in with Scott.
Dave, your Dr. Pepper conference update with all eyes on Tallahassee. Game day gets it started under the lights. It'll be Clemson and Florida State. How about this? Sean McGuire, the backup quarterback of Florida State, the Tallahassee Democrat, says his folks gave away their tickets. Didn't think their son was going to play. Wonder if
Waters on 2nd and 12, throws it away. He was outside the pocket there. We lost Scott there. But Waters trying to get outside the pocket to at least throw it away to avoid the flag, and did.
See Auburn with very good eye discipline on that play. Kansas State's got their tricks up their sleeve too, and on that time it looked like they were almost setting up a shovel pass underneath to running back to Marcus Robinson with the option at the bubble outside. But Auburn doing a good job staying home, now setting up a 3rd and long for K-State. Man-to-man coverage. Somebody has to win on the perimeter for Jake Waters.
4-man rush. And Waters airing it out and incomplete. Going for Lockett again. The wind have a factor there with that pass?
I don't know. I mean, I think the thing I took away from that was how close safety Derek Moncrief was to Tyler Lockett. And again, we talked about no Jermaine Whitehead in this game. A lot of less experience in the back end, but smart knowing where their most dangerous weapon is, getting help.
And they had 4 receivers on the other side, and they still had a safety over the top on Lockett, clearly trying to get 2 guys involved in him.
Nick Walsh will punt it deep to Quan Bray, who had a punt return for a score 2 weeks ago. And fair caught at the 38-yard line. So Auburn just 65 yards of total offense. And you guys talked on the last possession that they really seemed to turn it up even more with their tempo and offense.
Yeah, they did, but they also didn't put the string together first downs like we're accustomed to seeing Auburn. And it's not The first down, I know, speeds them up, but the second and third is what wears you down and defensively exposes some of that Kansas State depth. Right now, they're not stringing first downs together.
And I think they got to keep running the football because they're always one play away. With the speed they have, they can take the top off like that. So you stick with it, run the football, trust your speed and your playmakers to hit a home run.
11 of their 18 plays have been on the ground. And Marshall to the air. That's tipped at the line. And it's intercepted. Kansas State ball. The last 2 pass attempts by Marshall tipped at the line of scrimmage. This one picked off by DeCorey Johnson. It may have been Britz again who got a hand on it.
Well, they had Duke Williams open on a skinny post, but look right here, Britz again. Just having that feel at the line of scrimmage. He's been Nick Marshall's worst enemy, worst nightmare in this game. And DeCorey Johnson, we saw him make a big tackle in the first quarter. Look at him go up. I don't want to say high point it. Kind of low points it, but nonetheless, another crucial turnover. And hey, this defense doesn't have a lot of depth. They're getting some water. They're feeling good on the sidelines. They got all their air. Look at them. They feel comfortable, smiling. We're not used to seeing them.
Britz with 4 block kicks last year. So you know he can get up, and he's got 2 deflections, although I don't know if that was really him or Marshall. Just threw it too low, hit him right in the
if you're Kansas State now, guys, sudden change, you got to make them pay, all right? You've given them turnovers too early.
Little option pitch, and Jones in trouble. And down he goes at the 43. Threese was back there. He even had big Montravius Adams in the backfield also.
And there's a cat and mouse game going on, too, with looking at what you see, but running the speed option, changing it up. That's what they do offensively. They do all kinds of things. You get to thinking about the quarterback run game. They run the speed option on the perimeter. They run bubbles. They get you confused, but Auburn did a good job of adjusting their defense when Kansas State audible.
Yeah, both these teams had a bye week, and I think that's kind of showing up right now. Look dialed in.
Already 5 tackles for a loss for Auburn in this game. Play clock down to 4. Waters on 2nd and long. Has a completion of Lockett. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage at the 39. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
And we talked about how Auburn defensively does not want to let Jake Waters get out of the pocket. Look what they do here on the outside. They got Chris Frost and Casanova McKenzie. They're 2 linebackers, essentially creating a 5-man front, just trying to create a fence around Jake Waters so that if he thinks about scrambling, he's not going to be able to get away outside.
See if Auburn brings pressure here on 3rd down and 10. And Waters setting up the wide receiver screen to Lockett, but he is tackled at the line of scrimmage. Blackson made a mistake on the offside earlier. A good play there. So 4th down and long. See if they punt it and try to pin Auburn deep.
Well, and again, it's a missed opportunity if you're Kansas, guys. You get a huge turnover in Auburn territory. This is the defending SEC champs. If you're going to beat them tonight, you've got to take advantage of that. You've got to put points on the board. There's got to be some sort of payoff.
And they haven't done that once.
No.
They've turned it over themselves. Down at the 1-yard line in the first quarter. Walsh gets it away. And a couple K-State players down there. And they keep it from going into the end zone. Great punt. Hang time gave Morgan Burns plenty of time to get down there and catch the football at the 1. And coming off a turnover by Marshall. We'll see how he handles the next possession. Great job by K-State's special teams.
ESPN Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Best Western. Stay with people who care.
Well, Coach Snyder's presence is everywhere here in Manhattan. Name on the stadium, even has his own burger. It should be, right? He built this program, took it from nothing and turned it into a competitor in the Big 12. And they got a work being done in their complex here at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. They'll break ground on a project immediately after their final home game against Kansas and should be completed fall of 2015. So Marshall lined up in the end zone, just threw a pick on the last play for Auburn, but Kansas State could not turn it into points. Marshall on a half roll and dropped at the 7-yard line by Ricardo Lewis. Incomplete. You guys surprised they're coming out throwing, or are you trying to instill confidence in Marshall?
Well, you know, I like the play call outside with a wide receiver with access, trying to move Marshall away from all the pressure. I think here you got to run the ball downhill to Cameron Artis-Payne.
Marshall talking to his lineman, hard to hear. Play clock down to 3. Another pass play. This one's caught by Coates for a first down out to the 14-yard line.
And it's tricky if you're Kansas State, because you'd love to say, hey, just press him.
Yeah.
Don't give him the easy throw. But you've got Sammy Coates on one side. You got Duke Williams on the other side. Guys that can fly. You don't want to give up the home run right now.
Artis-Payne falls forward to the 15 for a couple. Randall Evans on the stop. $79 yards of total offense for Auburn. Still haven't converted on 3rd down. This is 2nd down and 8. Cameron Artis-Payne now shifting out. He's replacing Trey Mason, who had over 1,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, was a Heisman finalist last year. He's looked good so far, though, in the first 2 games. They'll throw it to him here. And he's past the 20, breaks a tackle. Out to the 30, 15-yard pickup.
And you know Kansas State's playing good defense if Gus Malzahn's running this play. They usually don't have a lot of variety in their playbook. They're not throwing to the backs of the backfield typically in the past. Great mix-up. Now they're right back on the line of scrimmage to try to get the tempo.
Malzahn wants it spotted quicker by the center judge as Artis-Payne is up to the 34-yard line.
You're kind of seeing the new and improved Cameron Artis-Payne. He lost 8 to 12 pounds in the offseason. He looks a lot quicker. He's able to change direction so that you can spit him the football out into the flats like they just did 2 plays ago, make guys miss.
Marshall looking to the sideline for the check. 2nd down and 6. Marshall airing it out, overthrown as Sammy Coates stopped his route. So 3rd down coming up.
And it's hard to throw with this weather and with this wind, guys. We've said it's swirling all along, and Auburn hasn't been accurate yet when they try to throw the football deep down the field. Here's another 3rd and long situation.
Auburn looking for its first 3rd down conversion. Midway through the 2nd quarter, 3-0 Tigers lead. After a field goal following a turnover by Kansas State at its own 20. Another pass play. And Marshall going deep again. Dropped. Duke Williams might have scored had he caught it. Instead, it's 4th down, and Auburn 0 for 5 now on 3rd down.
So you finally have time by your offensive line. The ball finally doesn't get batted down. Duke Williams has this guy beat again. He's just got to come down with the catch. We've given him a lot of love, and he is. He's a great athlete on the outside, but those are the kind of plays that this offense goes to the next level. If you can make those plays and make this defense back up, you got to make that.
Sloppy game so far. A lot of drops, turnovers, penalties. 4th down. And Lockett has to back up for that punt. Lockett still going backwards. Now turns it upfield at the 30. Lockett past the 40 and then tackled out of bounds. A flag? No, not yet. Still a good return. Kansas State with good starting field position after a 26-yard return. Trying to take down the Tigers. They trail 3-7. Saturday night ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Hampton Hotels at 7 Eastern from Baton Rouge, LSU and Mississippi State. Should be a good one in conference. Auburn right now struggling out of conference at Kansas State, and a huge possession here for the Wildcats midway through the second quarter. Not been able to capitalize on good field position after 2 punt returns by Lockett. And they get a big running lane here for DeMarcus Robinson. A 9-yard pickup into Tiger territory.
The thing I like about Kansas State and watching them on film, they're very creative in the running game. It's quarterback runs, it's the Wildcat, but then they also have just conventional stuff with running backs downhill. They've got 2 running backs, this time DeMarcus Robinson. When they see a crease, they hit it.
They bring Gronkowski into the backfield here for 2nd and short. And Waters rolling out. Going to throw it deep. And Trujillo able to make the catch for a first down at the 24. It's a 24-yard pass play.
And here you talk about right here, same thing. They split Gronkowski out wide. Bring him back in the backfield. Look, he gets in a 3-point stance right here. Of course, everybody's thinking run game, come downhill. Great job pulling the ball out of the halfback's stomach and then making a good throw. Perfect throw right in the window.
22-yard gain. They spot him out at the 26. 5th catch for Trujillo. That's how many he had last year. Waters on the keeper. And Frost is there to take him down at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
And there's another difference, too, is you see the zone read all the time, and it's reading the defensive end, That time they left the defensive tackle unblocked. You know, they do a good job of making guys defend things that they're not used to. Just like that, it's a hard look. Great variation of this offense.
Pretty good variation on the drive, just no touchdown or field goal.
There's got to be a payoff here.
Got a fumble, INT, couple punts. Can they get points here?
Man-to-man coverage outside for Jake Waters here. Look, he's audibling, little cat and mouse. Auburn audibles on defense.
Waters complete inside the 20-yard line, and spinning away is Curry Sexton to the 5, and tackled inside the 5 for first and goal.
Well, there's that cat and mouse game we talked about. Jake Waters went to a slant route. He thought he was going to get man-to-man coverage, and Auburn backed out of it. So he throws this in the slot. This goes right over the head of their star, their nickel defender, Justin Garrett, who could have picked that off. Instead, they get a great catch and run by Curry Sexton. A little fortuitous. Big word I learned.
They're inside the 5. Last time down here, there was an interception. They'll keep it on the ground with Robinson. Trying to push the pile. Can't. A minimal gain, if any, on that play. 2nd down. Elijah Daniel there first for Auburn.
You can say all you want about Auburn's defense the last couple of years, but they've always been good in critical down and distances. They were great on 3rd down last year, led the SEC, 2nd best defense in the country in the red zone. It's these situations Auburn's defense under Ellis Johnson as coordinator have always come up big.
Bottom of the screen right here is where they've been working the pass game with the pick routes and the quick throws. You see man coverage. Now they're checking.
And the play clock at 3. Waters hands it off. Robinson in. Touchdown, K-State. Finally, the Wildcats capitalize on good field position and had the lead for the first time.
Take a look at the left guard right here, number 77, Boston Stuyvesant, is going to work up and then chip into the linebacker level, which opens a huge crease for DeMarcus Robinson to run through. Well executed in the run game.
David, you were saying earlier down there you thought they should run the football as that point after just squeaks through. They did. They kept to the ground game, and they had the 7-3 lead.
And a great job, cat and mouse. You see the line of scrimmage. Kansas State fired up. A couple miscues, but they're not going anywhere.
DeMarcus Robinson, a senior from Wichita, Kansas, with his first career touchdown. And in case you missed it, video is now posted on the SportsCenter app, available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it. Well, after many opportunities, Kansas State that time able to capitalize on good field position following the punt return by Tyler Lockett. and they lead it 7-3. Patterson booting it away. And it will come out to the 25.
And guys, we know Auburn's a running team, but all of the missed opportunities for them have come in the passing game early on. Sammy Coates, their fastest wide receiver, is open on a post. It's overthrown. They try him again on a go route down the left sideline, no dice. And finally, Duke Williams wins his one-on-one in the seam. It's a perfect throw by Nick Marshall, dropped on a critical third down. And who would have thought, you take a look at this drive recap of what's gone on in this game, who would have thought they'd have 3 points? And guys, that right there is misleading because they were giving the ball deep down in Kansas State territory after the Jake Waters fumble.
Marshall in trouble, able to get away from Willis and run out of bounds. A gain of a couple that time. Jordan Willis, again, the first man there, and chased out by Travis Green.
And we put together a nice package of all those miscues for Auburn. You could do the same thing for Kansas State. I mean, they've missed opportunities, and we showed it earlier in the game. I mean, talking about a drop touchdown pass that leads to an INT. You're talking about a missed field goal. Kansas State has met Auburn's physical challenge so far.
Marshall just 5 of 13 passing. That time it's caught by Williams, and he gets the first down to the 36-yard line.
And guys, I got to be honest, because I'm thinking about what Kansas State's doing. They're stopping the run with 6 guys in the box. I mean, they're not loading the box and playing bump and run press coverage on the outside. This is what they've always done in Big 12 play against these high-octane offenses. They spread themselves out. It's these guys right here up front on the defensive line that are winning their one-on-ones. They deserve the credit.
Marshall to throw again, pumps, looking deep, going for Duke. And he dropped it again inside the 30. Dante Barnett was covering. Did he get a piece of the ball, or did Williams just cough it up?
This isn't easy to do. This Duke Williams has an unbelievable catch radius. You put the ball anywhere near his body, he generally comes down. We saw one drop earlier, I think right here.
You make him turn.
Yeah, that's why I think he should catch. Now, it looks like Dante Barnett got that arm in there a little bit early, but I think that's good defense on the double move.
See the lack of punch by Auburn's offense. 0 for 5 on third down. This is 2nd and 10 as Marshall going to take off. And he's past the 40 to the 43-yard line. Morgan Burns didn't fall for the pump fake.
But Kansas State making everything difficult. I mean, that was a great play by Nick Marshall to scramble and get 6 yards, but he had to fight off a guy. He had to fight off 2 guys, outrun a few guys. Great job by Kansas State defense, keeping everything in front of us.
So those defensive tackles now, Travis Britz and Valentino Coleman, they've had a couple knockdowns early in this game, expecting a quick throw.
Can Auburn get its first third down conversion? 4 to go. Little half roll for Marshall, and this one is caught for a first down by Quan Bray.
And that is a tremendous play call by Gus Malzahn. We just talked about it. Everything he's tried to throw over the middle has gotten knocked down if it's been a short throw. So move the pocket, get Nick Marshall outside away from those defenders and those arms.
How about more passes than runs for Auburn right now?
Never would have said that.
Marshall can't get outside. DeCorey Johnson tracks him down for a 2-yard setback.
Now, I was watching the film of Kansas State. I didn't see a lot of blazing speed, but number 32 was the guy that flashed to me with the ability to go sideline to sideline. You've seen DeCorey Johnson, normally a backup to linebacker Jonathan Truman. He's made a lot of plays on the field at the same time with Truman right now. 2 experienced senior linebackers.
Fultz in the backfield. He's playing that position that Jay Prosch played so well last year for Auburn, leading them to an SEC title in the national championship game. Some think he might be the most important player that they lost from that team a year ago. Got 2nd and long when we come back. Back in Manhattan, where Kansas State leads Auburn 7-3. Celebrating its 10th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. Since 2005, Allstate has contributed more than $3.4 million in scholarship funds. Jesse Palmer, David Pollock, Sam Ponder down in the field. I'm Dave Pash. Late first half, Auburn trailing on the road. 2nd and 12 from the 45, a design quarterback run for Marshall. And he's to midfield for a 5-yard pickup. It will be 3rd and long, though. Auburn 1 of 6 on 3rd downs, and they just got that initial 3rd down conversion a moment ago.
Big substitution for Kansas State coming on the field now, getting fresh bodies. They bring in Elijah Lee at the top of the screen, number 9. A lot of speed. He's a backup linebacker that specializes in these situations.
Got his hand down here. 3rd down and 7. Marshall to the air. Marshall's pass is caught. That was a dart thrown to Duke Williams to the 40 of Kansas State.
How big would it be for this Auburn offense to get a score going in at halftime? It would absolutely be huge, but a nice job understanding where his access is in the slot, off coverage, best possession receiver, pitch and catch.
Play 9 of the drive. Inside 2 minutes to go in the half. Marshall pulls it back, looking deep again, and he's got a man inside the 20. Broken tackle. Lewis inside the 5. Touchdown, Auburn. And just like that, after a 40-yard catch, the Tigers retake the lead.
The first thing I was impressed about with this throw was Nick Marshall throwing under duress. Had to change his body position in the pocket to get rid of it.
And they're going for 2 guys. They're lined up to snap it. They've got Wallace lined up at quarterback. Now they shift back. Snap a little high, but point after makes it 10-7. Second touchdown pass of the year for Nick Marshall. Second touchdown catch for Ricardo Lewis.
And Marshall's had some struggles, and they've had some drops, but finally they get on the same page on that last possession, and Nick Marshall's like, nice. But again, there's pressure in his face. You see pressure is going to come off the edge.
He's trying to work this smash route here to the corner in the slot. But you're going to see Nick Marshall here in the slot. Yeah.
You got a safety matched up on Lewis, and watch him slip. Right there in the end when Barnett's trying to break on that out. He slips, and then Lewis in the open field makes some guys miss. So a costly slip, but a great throw by Nick Marshall under duress.
Yeah, he did a nice job sliding to the left, getting his feet squared and his shoulders squared to make that throw. It was a nice job, too, by Ricardo Lewis plucking that out of the air. Nick Marshall likes it. It was 2 very good throws consecutively on that play. You know, we talked about that, right? Consistent accuracy, something you want to see more out of Nick Marshall. This offense could be so much more balanced in the passing game with the weapons they have on the perimeter of the field. And there's that big score they needed to kind of retake some momentum here at the end of the first half.
Marshall very good on that drive throwing the ball. 4 of 5, 62 yards and the touchdown.
And his receivers made catches for him.
That
which
helps.
That makes a big difference. No batted balls.
A short kick here will bounce to the 25. And across the 30, out past the 35. So they're going to have very good field position again as Charles Jones brings it back to about the 37. Here's Scott in the studio.
Dave, coming up on the Jaguar halftime report, Mark May, Brian Greasy standing by. Plenty to break down from a very entertaining football game here. And the fellas will be making their picks, one of which is certain to rile up an SEC fan base. And there's nothing quite as entertaining as a riled up SEC fan base. Back to you in Manhattan.
I'm guessing that's Greasy stirring it up in the studio.
Personal experience?
Yep. Although history says that it could be Mayday as well.
Yeah.
Again, good field position for Kansas State at its 36-yard line. Waters to the air, stepping up. He's going to air it out and nearly intercepted. The safety coming over. Nick Ruffin, a true freshman, getting some work, and he almost picked it off. Incomplete.
Yeah, Jake Waters has to be careful here. You know, these quarterbacks, it's been tough with this wind throwing the football deep down the field. Nice job by Trevon Reed going step with step for Tyler Lockett. True freshman playing center field, almost able to get his hands on that. That could have been bad news if Auburn gets the ball right back after scoring a touchdown with a tired defense. Get lucky.
A shovel pass to Charles Jones, who's loose in the secondary and into Auburn territory. 3 timeouts, minute 16. Clock will stop as they reset the chain.
You see Kansas State putting Casanova McKenzie, the linebacker, in a no-win situation. Here he is out here in the shovel pass. What do? You take the quarterback or you stay inside? Can't guess right.
They got 16 yards on that play. Auburn stacking the box. Jones again trying to fight through a tackle. Trampled by a pair of 300-pounders, Blackson and Adams. 3-yard gain and a timeout with 1 minute on the clock. 2 left for K-State.
I wondered if they were going to use a timeout there too. They were going slow. They're going to speed it up.
Now, no other night is Monday night, and the Bears coming off an impressive win against the 49ers. Now they've got the Jets and Geno Smith Monday 8:15. He's playing better this year, and Jay Cutler with those great wide receivers. Should be a good game Monday night. Starts the Monday night countdown at 6 Eastern time.
In Chicago last weekend.
Yep.
All their banged up wide receivers.
Down early too. Down what, 17?
San Francisco, yeah. Just the way they came back, the way Cutler played. Unbelievable.
All right, guys, play call wise here, what do we expect? Got a minute left. You're on Auburn's side of the field.
Well, you know, I think points are at a premium. At minimum, you want to come out of this with a field goal going into halftime tied, which would be a huge win for the confidence of your team. So I think, you know, you're not getting crazy and wild. You're not just, you know, this isn't the greatest show on turf, spitting it all over the place.
Most of their plays have been run in Auburn territory. Pump fake by Waters, going to throw it to his check down Trujillo. He's upended inside the 45, around the 41-yard line.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's so smart by Jake Waters. He wanted to pump, he wanted to double move on the outside, take a big shot down the field. It's not there. Don't need to freak out. Check it down to your tailback. Live to play another day.
And that's great discipline by Auburn's defense.
Yeah.
Take away the deep stuff. If you want to complete that right now with 50 seconds left in the half, you can have those. Come up and tackle, let the clock run, make you use timeouts. Except next time, try to keep you in bounds.
3rd down and 3. Going to be a pass. Waters has it complete to Sexton inside the 30, heading for the sideline. Kansas State ball at the 27-yard line. 1st down with 45 seconds left.
It was another very clean pocket to throw from if you're Jake Waters. See your little stack release with Tyler Lockett and the slot receiver Sexton. Just finding a soft spot in his zone. Easy target, easy throw, easy first.
Now keep in mind, as they're inside the 30 here, we've already seen a missed field goal. You got the wind swirling. This is at the other end, went a little bit behind the kicker. Plenty of time, though, and 2 timeouts. Going to be another pass here for Waters, and it's caught by Lockett. Takes a shot, but he hangs on this time. 1st down inside the 15.
And a great job moving Tyler Lockett around, bring him across the formation so you can't double team him. And he absolutely smoked Justin Garrett. Making amends for his play earlier. Couple drops.
Clock starts on the ready for play there. They're going to run it, and nothing for Robinson. We'll see if they call it timeout here. They will. That'll leave them with 1. Ben Bradley on the stop. 22 seconds left. Inside the 15-yard line. Guys, we had talked throughout the day, earlier on SportsCenter, College Football Live, about Auburn's offense and whether, forget Kansas State, anybody could stop their offense. You surprised?
I am surprised. Part of it's been miscues by Auburn. They've been shooting themselves in the foot at times, but you got to give Kansas State so much credit defensively. They're nowhere near the same athletes on their side of the ball. They're playing their scheme perfectly, keeping the ball in front of them. Very, very impressed with that.
They've met the physical challenge of Auburn, which a lot of people haven't done over the past, and they're just annoying. I mean, they're doing a great job. Whether it be 5, 6 men in the box, they're disturbing Auburn enough. They're slowing Auburn's tempo down. They like to just line up, go as fast as they can. They're making them check into the right plays and really messed up the rhythm and timing of this Auburn offense.
1 timeout remaining. 22 seconds on the clock. Kansas State down 3.
So if you're Auburn defensively, find Tyler Lockett. He's at the top of the screen. one-on-one.
And Waters will throw pressure off the edge. Waters hangs in the pocket. Fumbled the ball. It's still loose. Kansas State, I think, got it back at the 25. They're going to have to use their final timeout. Chris Frost forced the fumble on Waters. It's still Kansas State ball, but now you're talking about a 42 or 43-yard field goal with that swirling wind. They do have time to run one more play if they want. 11 seconds left.
And he wanted to go, Jake Waters wanted to go to Tyler Lockett at the top of the screen. You're going to see to the right side, he's running a curl route, and he was coming back to throw that. He pump fakes, tucks it back in. There's Chris Frost making the hit. I'm not even sure, really, if 26, Justin Garrett might not have poked that out as well himself, but very, very lucky bounce for Kansas State to jump back on that football. That's a great effort right there. But number 20, Demarcus Robinson leaping for it, getting that ball back.
Guys, Kansas State did not call timeout, so they ran the clock after they announced possession of Kansas State, and the coaches started jumping up and down to call timeout and get it in. So 4 seconds left. So they're going to review this to see whether the hand was going forward for Jake Waters, and it was a forward pass, or whether it was a fumble. The ruling in the field was a fumble. It's bringing Rogers Redding here. Like the old tuck rule there.
Yeah.
Rogers.
Like yeah, right. Looks like he fakes the throw, and then he tucks it in, and then the ball comes out. So that's not the arm starting force. He tucks it back in, and then it comes out.
So it's a fumble.
So it's a fumble, right. Yeah.
That was a call on the field as well.
Yeah, that was a call on the field.
But Jake Waters has to throw that football. Give your receiver a chance down the field, or throw it out of the back of the end zone. Because now you put yourself in, your kicker's already missed one. Now you back him up.
The rolling on the field has been confirmed. Third down.
Look at the old NFL tuck rule there at Tom Brady for a moment.
Except for he tucked it and cradled it all the way in.
We talked about it again, guys. This is no gimme. With the wind and how it's swirling around, it's strong. Of course, we've seen Cantelli already missed one earlier.
Yeah, that was a 41-yarder that he missed, and this will be a little bit longer.
Second.
Be about a 42-yard attempt. His career long is 44, Jack Cantelli. Now to tie the game here. No timeouts.
How big would this be, though, if they could hit this kick? The momentum they could take in with them at halftime. This is a game not a lot of people gave them even a shot of winning. A lot of people thought Auburn would be way out ahead by now. Playing at home in front of this crowd. A lot of eyeballs watching around the country. It'd be huge. Cantelli, their junior, could convert on this field goal.
That wind is whipping down there. They get it down, and he missed it wide to the right this time. And that'll end the half with Auburn on top, 10-7. Two missed field goals by Jake Cantelli. Hard to tell, was it a bad snap there by Drew Scott? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Good job by the holder to just get that down.
Yeah, and it looks like a good hold, too. It was almost a perfect hold. He just pushed that to the right.
Sam Ponder now with Gus Malzahn.
Coach, you told me this was going to be a good road test for you. What's your assessment of how they've handled it so far?
Yeah, it's a dogfight. I mean, the team's playing hard. We're playing hard. We made some mistakes, but give those guys credit. We're probably fortunate to be up 10-7 right now.
In your estimation, what's the reason for the slow start offensively?
Well, a lot has to do with they're getting after us, you know, and they're making us throw the football. We need to do a better job of that in the second half if that's how they continue to play us.
Are you happy with the tempo right now?
We got to get first downs. I mean, I'm never happy unless we're getting first downs. We're not getting very many of them right now.
Makes sense. Thanks, Coach.
Well, the score is surprising. Also the fact that Auburn has thrown the ball more than it's run the ball in the first half. Surprising. Tigers, thanks to a pair of missed field goals by Kansas State, lead it by 3. Time now for the Jaguar halftime report. Nick Marshall and Auburn leading 10-7 over Kansas State. Wildcats with a couple of turnovers, a couple of missed field goals, only down 3 as we look at our coaching adjustments brought to you by the Home Depot.
Auburn has really struggled running the football, and you've got to give Kansas State defensively credit. Their front four are clogging up lanes. There's nowhere for these Auburn running backs and ball carriers to go, and they've done a great job in their scheme. Guys staying home, showing speed, getting to Nick Marshall. Auburn is averaging just over 3 yards a carry.
And offensively, it's been some miscues and some mistakes. Tyler Lockett, their best player, missing their special teams. Not very special, missing 2 field goals in the first half. Kansas State could be in the lead, except for a couple miscues.
Yeah, the turnover at the 1, and then the 2 missed field goals we talked about.
35 plays for Auburn's offense.
And 18 of those passing plays, 55 yards on the ground, 151 yards through the air for Waters. Did have the 1 interception. But the fewest in the first half on the ground in the Gus Malzahn era. Granted, it's been short, but still a surprise given what they've been doing on the ground against SEC teams and Florida State in the national title game. Kansas State will get the ball to start the second half. Game that could impact where we stand on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. The Big Six and, of course, the 2 national semifinal games. And with the help of the win, that kickoff sails through the end zone. Let's bring in Sam Ponder.
Dave, Bill Snyder happy with his quarterback's decision making, but saying they need to put him in better positions. He especially said he wants to see him be more of the vocal, outgoing leader that he was in the Iowa State game. In terms of adjustments, his biggest concern was disguising his signals. He said they're getting our signals. We got to do a better job disguising them.
You saw Sam's hair moving around down on the field before the game. Pollock, you noticed Palmer's didn't move at all.
Way too much product.
It's been like that for 10 years, boys.
I'm jealous. Robinson off the left side, able to spin out of the tackle and get to the 32-yard line for 7 yards, brought down by Adams.
Yeah, we talked about the issues Auburn's had on offense in the first half and the issues Kansas State's had. Auburn's defense has been lights out so far in this game, and they've been very inconsistent early this year. Bottom line is there's 7 points on the board for Kansas State. An offense that's averaged 44 points a game through the first 2 weeks. Very, very balanced. This Auburn D needs to keep playing well here in the second half.
Again, Jermaine Whitehead, their starting safety. He's suspended indefinitely as Waters goes deep into double coverage. Overthrew his intended receiver. How about Gronkowski, the fullback, out there running the deep route with Jones and Holsey covering. It's 3rd down and 3.
Starts with pressure up front. Montravius Adams, big number 1, lined up right here, is explosive. You get him in a one-on-one situation. He drives right through the guard, drives right through the running back. Makes that a tough throw for Jake Waters to try and complete. It's another one of these guys that just has to be more consistent. Has all the ability in the world.
I was impressed with Gronk outrunning 2 guys there. In trouble, Waters on 3rd down and 3. And the pass incomplete. It's 4th down, and so K-State goes 3 and out on its opening drive here in the second half.
And again, we talk about Auburn's offense. That's all we do. We talk about it ad nauseum, how unstoppable they are. If not for their defense, this could be a totally different ballgame. Great job getting pressure. And their front 4 has been great. They're physical, they're big, they're not letting Kansas State rush the football. Only 24 yards rushing so far and applying pressure.
Nick Walsh to punt. Into the wind, just got it away. And no flag for running into the kicker. Good punt. They'll down it around the 12-yard line. You know, Nick Marshall actually almost attended Kansas State after being dismissed from Georgia in 2011, where he played defensive back. Ended up here in Kansas, about 4.5 hours from here, Garden City Community College, and was being recruited by Auburn, and K-State ended up choosing the Tigers and leading them to an SEC championship and almost a national title. Can he get them to a playoff here in 2014? Night of 18 passing so far, a touchdown and a pick, and he's back up after a 56-yard punt. Keep waiting for the big play out of Auburn's offense. And when is it coming? On the sweep, it's Lewis. He's past the 25. Here comes a penalty flag. Lewis tackled at the 27 by Dante Barnett. 15-yard gain. We'll see if it's coming back. And it is. Big 12 officiating crew. Rick Lumiere is our referee.
The defense. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
Did he say defense?
Yeah, he did.
I meant offense.
I think he might have meant, I thought it might have been Duke Williams on the perimeter outside, number 1 in the slot, trying to get a block for Corey Grant. I think that's what he meant to say, was holding offense. Take a look right here. Number 1, Duke Williams, just in the slot, kind of gets some jersey on the outside. Right there, he kind of tugs with the safety Travis Grant. I think that really should have been the call.
So unnecessary, too. If that guy's driving you backwards, just let him drive you backwards. You can't make a play.
Here's Artis Payne straight ahead. Give him a little bit more breathing room as he reaches the 14-yard line. 7-yard gain. Here comes third down.
So the key for Auburn in the second half, this offensive line has to take the game over.
Second down, excuse me.
Up front, they've got to be more physical and start giving Cameron Artis Payne, Corey Grant, Nick Marshall somewhere to run the football, because they've been getting beaten so far up front in the first half.
Marshall with a quick strike, and this one is caught at the 20-yard line by Lewis. Third down and 2 coming up.
And Auburn's flustered offensively. I mean, how often, Jesse, do you see them run the play clock down this far? They're trying to get in the perfect play because Kansas State's done a great job of taking away their fastball, what they do best.
Auburn missed on its first 5 third down attempts. So they've converted the last 2. This is 3rd and 2. Keep it on the ground. Artis Payne appears to have it to the 23. A fresh set of downs for the Tigers.
There's an example of that offensive line firing off the ball and getting pushed. You see Gus Malzahn wants to pick the tempo up. It's the first down of the series, and that's where they like to go. But let these offensive linemen get lathered. Let's go.
Artis Payne again. This time he is brought down at the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Truman, another former walk-on, the leading tackler on this Kansas State team. No gain.
The impressive thing is, guys, again, they're just stopping the run. 7 guys in the box. They're bringing heat off the edge again from the safety, or the nickel position with Randall Evans. But guys just in purple jerseys have been winning the one-on-one battles.
Marshall gives it to Lewis, and he'll lose yardage. DeCorey Johnson has been in the backfield a lot today. Travis Green was there too. 3rd down and long coming up for Auburn. Obviously a difficult road test for the Tigers. Once they get into SEC play, they got LSU on October 4th. They have South Carolina A&M at home. They go to Georgia, to the Mississippi schools, and at Alabama in the Iron Bowl. 3rd down and 12. The play clock at 4. Marshall has not communicated yet to his O-lineman. Has to burn a timeout with a play clock down to 1.
You haven't seen this offense struggle this much ever since Gus Malzahn's been the offensive coordinator and calling the plays at Auburn. Got him guessing, got him worried, got him checking.
Only 189 yards of offense for Auburn tonight. The 3rd down and 12 when we come back. Kansas State trying to get its defense off the field and come up with a stop here on 3rd down and 12. Auburn back at its 21. Low snap. Marshall. And a float it down the sideline. Incomplete. Trying to hit Sammy Coates, and the defender, Morgan Burns, injured himself. He's down at the 25 as Coates beat him again. Pass thrown on the line. 4th down.
Good pressure up front from Kansas State, only using a 4-man rush, forced Nick Marshall outside. It's kind of hard to see, you know, watching it live, where that injury may have come from. Take another look here. See the pressure up front. 75 Jordan Willis. Just a heave down the sideline. Again, Coates kind of gets behind him. He just kind of pulled up. Yeah, you kind of wonder. Yeah,
and he grabbed his groin.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we talked to the Auburn coaches yesterday. They said it's likely we'll see Jeremy Johnson at some point. Great backup quarterback for Auburn. We haven't seen him yet. Do you put him in this situation?
I think you have to seriously consider it. If you're struggling running the way you are, Jeremy Johnson is a much better thrower than Nick Marshall. They've been much more consistent in the passing game when he's come in. I'm not saying you make a total change, but you got to think about potentially injecting him. Yeah, and just seeing if he can provide a spark.
Well, that's a familiar sight. 18's been behind the defense all night. It's just been misfires. I mean, you got to put some more air underneath the ball and let your speedster run underneath it. Nick Marshall hadn't been able to do it, so it wouldn't be out of the realm. I mean, you know they're frustrated. Nick Marshall's frustrated, this offensive line. Everybody's frustrated. They're not used to this.
Lockett has had a couple good returns so far in the game. Waiting for it on his 33-yard line. And Carlson sends a line drive right into the wheelhouse of Lockett. Trying to get the corner at the 40-yard line. Into Auburn territory. Tackled at the 48. So far, Kansas State, other than the 2 missed field goals, doing a pretty good job on special teams. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in New Hampshire with coverage starting on ESPN Sunday at 1. Second race of the Challenger round. 16 drivers battle, 12 advance. Sunday 1 Eastern on ESPN. Dave Pasch, Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, Samantha Ponder here in Manhattan, Kansas. Auburn leading by 3. We thought we might see a high-scoring game. Certainly from Auburn. It hasn't happened, and now K-State starts in Tiger territory. Charles Jones able to spin away and then gets pushed back by Chris Frost. We got 2 or 3 there. These 2 teams used to scoring 30 or more points. Kansas State's done it 9 straight games, 3rd best in the country. 12 straight for Auburn. Florida State's done it 17 straight.
They're trying to do it together tonight.
Yeah, but to that point, guys, defensive struggle. We've seen sloppy play on offense from both teams in the first half. You see the streaks right there. Whoever plays the smartest football in the second half, penalties and turnovers, special teams, wins this game.
On 2nd and 7, they'll keep it on the ground. Jones, and can't get outside. That speed, Joshua Holsey at the line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and long.
And Auburn's doing a great job up front now. They showed what they were doing too many times. Kansas State kept audible, and they're doing a great job of showing something in coverage, backing off with their corners in disguise, and they got themselves another 3rd and long, which you've seen Kansas State struggle this season on.
And what they've done very well on 3rd down so far is keep Waters in the pocket. They haven't let him escape. Let's see if they can get that done here. Of course, you got to think if you're Kansas State, you're looking for 16. Tyler Lockett here in the slot.
Part of a bunch set there. Waters with time now gets out of the pocket and throws complete for a 1st down. So he got outside the pocket, didn't run, but completed the pass inside the 40 to Curry Sexton.
One of the few times tonight that we've seen Waters be able to get outside. And again, here's a guy that's had a lot more success this year running the football, but nice job keeping his composure and keeping his eyes downfield. And another dart. We've seen him throw 2 beautiful balls tonight, moving to his right.
How about Sexton? 5 catches, 58 yards. Giving Waters another weapon outside of Lockett here in this game. Auburn stacks the box on 1st down.
It just kind of looks like QB run, doesn't it?
Oh. That's a pass. Slinging it out into the flat to Deontay Burton near the 30-yard line. That's Sexton out there blocking that time. Gain of about 6.
Coming upon this Auburn defense again to come up with a stand. You know, they've done it all night long. And you kind of wonder, you see them subbing in and out of this game as well. It's been Kansas State that's run more plays. You know, we thought it was going to be Kansas State's defense that would be the most tired. You know, but in fact, it's been the white jerseys that have been on the field the most, and their conditioning now getting put to the test.
5 more plays run by K-State. Time of possession, plus 4.5 minutes for the Wildcats. Here's a design quarterback run as Waters finds a hole and finds a 1st down to the 25-yard line.
And we've talked about Gabe Wright being productive. What Auburn's doing is, if you see, they're bringing 3 defensive tackles, a lot of beef right on the inside. That offensive line of K-State just then got a nice pancake block on Gabe Wright. Got some push so they could get up there and get a couple yards.
Guys, here we are again inside the 30-yard line. Been down here several times. 2 missed field goals, a turnover in the end zone.
Yep.
Little pistol formation here on first down at the 26 of Auburn.
Just look at all the time they take. Patient at the line of scrimmage.
Waters completes it again to Sexton. Wrapped up in the open field by Halsey. That's a 5-yard gain, though, to the 21.
I think at some point, defensive coordinator Ellis Johnson from Auburn is going to have to press these corners on the outside. You can't keep giving Jake Waters this much cushion. You see again in the slot, look at all that cushion. And Jake Waters is going to take that every single time. You're going to have to challenge. There's not a lot of experience in the back end for Auburn, but you can't keep letting Jake Waters pick you apart with these easy throws. Make him earn them.
And McKenzie lining up on the edge. We'll see if they bring him. Waters throwing the other way out on the flat. And a good tackle in the open field on Jones. That's true freshman Nick Ruffin getting a lot of reps here on defense. So third down coming up for K-State. What do you guys expect here from the Wildcats? You got a manageable 3rd and 5.
16. I mean, again, every big third down, they've wanted to look first to Tyler Lockett. He was an All-American last year for a reason. He's your best route runner. Now you've got him in the slot at the top of the screen right here.
Got a couple interference calls on the defense throwing his way in the first half. Comes in motion now on 3rd down and 5. Waters in trouble. Eludes pressure. And sideline pass pulled in for a first down by Burton. First down inside the Auburn 15.
Very impressed watching Deontay Burton on this drive. He's from here in Manhattan, Kansas. Last 2 games, he was falling down a lot, wasn't very physical, catching balls in traffic, but here, doing a nice job staying alive, scramble drills, and the comeback, working to the sideline, giving his quarterback a place to go with the ball.
2 third downs.
Yeah.
Jake Waters, full time.
Here's Jones. It's inside the 10 to the 8. Back to your point, Dave. That's a pretty good play by Waters throwing on the run. First, to get away from Frost first, and then make the throw.
Yeah, and you got when you got defensive ends, you got to rush the passer. You got to stay outside. You got to do a good job of bottling them up and not being able to do that. But they've picked up their tempo a little bit now too. They're liking what they got. Kansas State. Wildcat.
Yeah, Charles Jones in. At Gronkowski to his left.
They haven't thrown out of this yet, so you know Auburn's playing run.
2nd down and 7. Jones down to about the 5-yard line. Gain of 3. Ford there on the tackle. Another 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 4.
Yeah, Kansas State showing you they can be physical too. Running the ball. Look at Gronkowski here at fullback, one-on-one with Casanova McKenzie. Smash mouth football. There's some collisions going on in this game. So here you go, big 3rd down again. And we've seen Jake Waters get outside the pocket. So number 1, you got to keep him in if you're Auburn defensively. Again, that's got to be rule number 1.
They have to get to the 1 for a first down. Or of course Pater, they can get 5. Play clock inside 5. Waters fade to the end zone, almost caught but incomplete. While Sexton had to adjust his body and still almost pulled it in. How much confidence do you have in the kicker right now? They're going to bring Cantelli out, though, for 4th down.
Yeah, you got to be careful with this throw. He was almost trying to back shoulder this to Sexton. That allowed the corner, Jonathan Jones, a chance to come off the underneath route. He almost got involved in on the play. I was throwing those to David Pollock on the field yesterday here, by the way. I think we went 3 for 3 in the red zone.
I don't know if he had that kind of body adjustment in midair.
No, trust me, he does. And he can palm it with one hand.
So Cantelli trying to tie it at 10. He has missed twice. This is a 22-yard attempt. And he missed it again. Wow. That one just looked like a bad kick. He had a bad snap on the one at the end of the half. But how many more mistakes can you make and beat the team as talented at Auburn? We'll find out.
K-State trails Auburn by 3, and as their defense gets ready to take the field, they will not be at full strength. Morgan Burns, you saw him go down there after that last drive. On the sideline, athletic trainers working with him, trying to get him to go full speed, grimacing every single time. They gave him his helmet back, which is an indicator that he will go back out on the field, but definitely not at full strength, and he's the fastest guy they've they've got in this secondary going up against those wide receivers will be a challenge.
Well, and Sam, we talked about how depth was a problem for this Kansas State defense, and this has nothing to do with conditioning or tempo, but now all of a sudden you got a backup, Trey Moore out there with one of the fastest wide receivers in college football.
Marshall trying to bust it to the outside. Ran out of room, picked up 2 yards. But guys, the story of this game is the lack of productivity in the red zone by Kansas State. You had the touchdown, but also the interception off an easy catch should have been for K-State. And then the 2 missed field goals. That last one, that was in the middle of the field. It was a good snap. They had a different long snapper in.
The story of this game also is Kansas State stopping the run and continually doing it on first down. How many times have we seen that tonight?
Marshall got 2 yards on first. Now going to throw to Coates, and he couldn't hang on. Another drop. 3rd down and 8 coming up. He's dropped 1. Saw Duke Williams drop what would have been a touchdown in the first half.
And that's not on Nick Marshall. We talked about seeing Jeremy Johnson. You just got to make those plays. And again, it doesn't seem like much. It's only a 4-yard gain. But Nick Marshall at 3rd and 4 versus 3rd and 8, it's so much easier to play.
Guys, this is shocking. Auburn has 67 yards on the ground and less than 200 yards of total offense. Marshall at 3rd down and 8 and got a completion to Coates, who hung on this time for a first down out near the 35-yard line. They're starting to convert on 3rd down when they were not in the first half.
Well, we haven't seen this a lot, but Kansas State brings pressure off the edge. There's Jonathan Truman. Good job by Nick Marshall seeing his one-on-one matchup and going back to Coates after he dropped the previous pass in the previous play.
Back try to establish the run on first down, and Artis Payne able to break a tackle, but still, as McDaniel and Barnett fly to the football, it's only a 1 or 2 yard gain.
I love watching tape of this Denzel McDaniel. He is an absolute missile with bad intentions. Check it out. Bam. I mean, he just runs through people. And he's got that attitude, and he really provides that physicality and kind of sets the tone for this Kansas State defense.
We're used to seeing chunk plays on first down, not happening for Auburn. Another pass that's batted down at the line of scrimmage. This was Mueller. We saw 2 by Travis Britz in the first half, 1 that resulted in an interception. Another 3rd and 8 coming up.
I mean, even when they're not getting home, David,
well, that's a good job.
Effective.
That's a 3-step drop. That's linemen popping up real quick, just trying to get involved. And it's a great job by the guys understanding that, just jumping up and getting a mid in the air, J.J. Watt style.
Marshall fakes the end around, eludes a sack, and dumps it off. Open on that far sideline was Ricardo Lewis. Little trickery. They pick up 3rd down and long again. Get to the 45-yard line.
And this is a great job by Nick Marshall. First of all, you see the trickeration. You see fake handoff, fake reverse. But how about Nick Marshall stepping up and taking the check down? Something he didn't do well a year ago. Understanding the sticks, throwing it out in front of him, letting his receiver make a play.
So consecutive pickups on 3rd down and 8. Inside 3 to go here in the 3rd. Auburn leading by 3 after that missed 22-yard field goal by Kansas State.
Look at the play clock. Turning down to 5.
It's a 2. Marshall finds a running lane and gets outside. Look out! Inside the 40 and steps out at the 38-yard line. A 17-yard run by Nick Marshall.
Nick Marshall, to me, is what makes this spread offense unique. It's his speed and his ability to get outside. You haven't had a lot of clean looks so far in this game, but once he does, you see just how fast he is and how dangerous he is.
Best drive in a while for Auburn. A couple of 3rd down and long conversions, and that was one of their longest plays in scrimmage. In fact, that was their longest run of the game right there. 8th play of the drive. Artis Payne straight ahead. And he's inside the 35, picked up 6 yards on the carry.
This is more like what we're used to seeing from Auburn. Now all of a sudden you see Gus Malzahn wants to pick the tempo back up. David had mentioned it was been slow these last couple of drives.
2nd and 4. Artis Payne trying to cut it back. Inside the 30-yard line, comes up short of the first down. Truman on the tackle. He's just keeping on the ground here for Auburn.
You know, they are, and I think Gus Malzahn likes to do as well is he likes to run the same plays consecutively over and over. And that was just kind of a counter, designed run all the way. Having success with it, but again, the tempo not what we're used used to seeing from Auburn, giving Kansas State a chance to line up.
Artis Payne got the first down as he pushed the pile to the 27-yard line.
And this is interesting, and I think we're going to learn as the season goes on too. Artis Payne's replacing a great player. Trey Mason was in the Heisman ceremony last year. I mean, he was unstoppable. One of those guys that got better as the game went on and had the ability to make you miss. You see Artis Payne, it's downhill quick, not as much wiggle. So who's this guy? Who's the guy that can make plays late in the game for him at the running back spot?
They also lost the guy that blocked for Trey Mason too, Jake Prosh, and their left tackle Greg Robinson. Fresh set of downs for Auburn. Artis Payne, and slipped a little bit on the cutback attempt. Gain of 2. We've seen Kansas State win a lot tonight at the line of scrimmage, and they do it again here and force a field goal try. 12th play of the drive coming up.
And that's important. This is the first time you've seen a 12-play drive out of Auburn's offense. We talked about the tempo and the wear down effect. If you're not putting drives together, you don't have it. Now you're starting to get it. A lot of runs. Do you feel like a play action over the top now that you're starting to see all the bodies right here near the line of scrimmage?
Here comes an end around. Corey Graham is actually lined up in the backfield and gets positive yardage. He paid for it though as Truman smacked him. Oh, McDaniel had a shot to take him down for a loss.
This number 7, McDaniel, a cornerback for Kansas State. I mean, he's all over the running game. You're going to see him come from the left side of the screen, taking a handoff, trying to get one of the fastest players in college football outside. Now, McDaniel doesn't make the play, doesn't make the tackle, but he does make the play. Allows Kansas State to rally to football.
Normally we might see Auburn snap it, but they want to talk about it here in between quarters on what kind of play they want to run for 3rd down and 7. 10-7 is the score. Auburn on top as we go to the 4th quarter in Manhattan. Well, Auburn was 0 for 5 to start the game on 3rd down, but a key pass there by Marshall on 3rd down and long. Another one here on 3rd down and long, dumping it off to Lewis. And now they have a 3rd and 7 at the 24-yard line of Kansas State as we start the 4th.
Well, they were the best team in the country on 3rd down coming into the game. That's because a lot of their 3rd downs were 3rd and short. I mean, tonight they've been behind the sticks thanks to this Kansas State defense making it so much more difficult.
Marshall will throw. And wide open is Williams, a 1st down inside the 15 down to the 12-yard gain.
And I like how Auburn uses Duke Williams. They line him up in the slot mostly, does a lot of his damage over the middle of the field, but there's an example of him being outside, getting work done one-on-one.
Artis Payne gets to about the 9. Ryan Mueller twirls into the ground, a 3-yard pickup. 2nd and 7.
Really nice play by Mueller. He has the responsibility on the edge. You're going to see number 44. He's just waiting, patient, sees the handoff, goes and gets the ball.
Especially for somebody that likes to fly around as much as he does, to slow down and play discipline there.
When's the last time you saw a 5-minute, 15-play drive by Auburn?
Yeah, not often.
Marshall with time to the end zone. Caught! Did he hang on? He did. Touchdown, Duke Williams.
Sam Ponder had told us earlier about the injury to Morgan Burns, the starting corner here. Nick Marshall finds his best receiver, Duke Williams, one-on-one with a backup in Nate Jackson. Perfect throw to the back corner. Nice job. You know, here's a guy that's had a couple drops in this game. Does a good job there, seeing that ball in. Let's make sure he had control of this and continuous control all the way through the catch. I think he did.
He didn't initially, but...
Yeah, he had an initial bobble.
So 4 3rd down conversions on that drive. 15-play, 80-yard drive that took 5 minutes and 34 seconds. Rare for a Gus Malzahn coach team. And now it's a 10-point lead for Auburn. Duke Williams, junior college transfer. They're hoping for big things from him. That's a big score. It's now a 10-point Auburn lead. No No rushing touchdowns for Auburn tonight, but 2 through the air, including Duke Williams. Great grab in the back of the end zone. Good toss by Nick Marshall as well. And Auburn leads it by 10. A team that beat Auburn for the national championship a year ago. Florida State takes on Clemson. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo and ABC. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Jameis Winston suspended for the first half of that ball game. Now Kansas State has missed on so many chances. 3 missed field goals. 2 or more than 40 yards with the win, but the last one from 22. Do they have enough to overcome it? A lot of time on the clock. Down 10. Scored just 7 points so far.
Yeah.
Jack Cantelli had another kicker warming up, Matthew McCrane. We'll see if McCrane goes in should they need him.
But you kind of wonder if field goals are going to be enough. I mean, Auburn got back on track on that last drive, and if Nick Marshall comes back out and they've got their mojo rolling again, if you're Kansas State, you got to start putting 7s up on the board.
You know it's windy when you need a holder for the kickoff. They're going to kick it deep this time to Lockett, trying to keep it away from him. He's going to run it out here. And Lockett breaks a tackle at the 20 and up near the 25. Kansas State ball. Minute gone by in the 4th. Wildcats now down 10 at home. Big pass, Jesse Palmer, David Pollock, Sam Ponder at Kansas State. Time for our Aflac trivia question. When's the last time Auburn beat a non-SEC ranked team on the road?
I love multiple choice. I'm just going to go with B. Because it doesn't, I mean, I think a lot of people would immediately assume A. I'm just going to go with B, 10 seasons. That seems reasonable.
What about C?
20?
All right. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right.
Now, they've had some neutral site games against ranked teams in recent years. But they've won. Waters off play action, gonna fire it deep, going for Lockett in traffic, batted away and almost picked off. Stephen Roberts almost got it on the redirection, yet Trevon Reed on the coverage of Lockett.
Really nice job by Trevon Reed. He's a converted wide receiver, so he's got great speed. He goes step for step with Lockett outside. Take a look. He's a little bit bigger, sticks right on his hip, keeps his hands off until the very last second, but it's kind of pity-pack. But I really thought watching this live, number 14 Sexton was the better throw in the slot. I think he had a step on Stephon Roberts, the true freshman.
Boy, doesn't that look like interference?
Yeah, from that angle it does. He had that left hand kind of on his jersey. Interesting.
Another play fake. Waters setting up, deep throw again, and overshot Sexton, who was open at the 50. So it's 3rd down and 10.
And we've seen a lot of receivers down the field open for both teams, and you've seen a lot of misfires. That's a throw Jake Waters has to make. Last week or 2 weeks ago against Iowa State when they played, he made those plays in the clutch when they were down and they needed him. He's got to come through on those tonight.
You kind of get the feeling that how big of a 3rd down this is right here for Kansas State. You know, momentum kind of shifting back in favor of Auburn.
Came out throwing on 1st and 2nd down. Pass situation here you would expect. 3rd and 10. Auburn bringing pressure. It's picked up though. Flag down. And boy, Lockett got tied up with Reed, and here comes a flag. There might be a hold in the backfield, but then definitely there was some contact. Reed with Lockett down the sideline as Waters went deep. 3 shots on 3 downs for K-State.
Well, they're definitely going to get Trevon Reed for defensive holding here on the outside with Lockett. He was trying to run a double move. So that's definitely one of them down the field.
Of course, if there's holding by Kansas State, that would
nullify.
Yep, have another 3rd down and 10.
And I tell you what, Trayvon Reed's done a great job on the outside.
Yeah.
Jonathan Jones struggled a little bit. Reed's held his own.
New position for him.
There are 2 fouls on the play, fouls by each team. Illegal chop block, 20 of the offense. Number 25 of the defense. Penalties will offset. We'll replay down.
You take a look at the chop block first in the backfield. You got DeMarcus Robinson. I'll take a look. You can't high-low a defender at the same time. That's a good call. Oof. I mean, you know, that's a very dangerous play. You got the right guard and running back engaged at the same time. And here's the holding outside on Reed. See right here.
Well,
when I saw it live, I thought he actually grabbed Jersey. That time there, you did definitely see an arm bar.
Still no official penalties assessed to Kansas State in this game, considering that was wiped out. The Auburn infraction. 3rd down and 10. Waters gets rid of it. Sexton with the catch and the first down. A big 3rd down conversion. Waters hanging in there, taking a shot, delivering it. Wright and Adams were both there defensively.
And Sexton doing a great job. Watch him push the route, make you think he's going vertical, and then sit it down. Tell you what, he's been big tonight. Tyler Lockett is the go-to guy, but somebody outside of him had to give him production, and Sexton's done that tonight.
How about Sexton, the awareness, knowing where the first down marker was? Just getting just enough, getting his body beyond the point to convert that play.
7 catches tonight, had 6 in the first 2 games combined. Play clock down to 4. Don't know if Waters knows it yet. Play clock is at 2. He has to call a timeout. Not sure he realized where the play clock was, so they have to burn one. Early 4th quarter here in Manhattan. Auburn leading by 10. Jake Waters led them to a comeback win in week 2. Can he do it against the 5th-ranked team in the country?
ESPN Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Goodyear, chosen by experts for superior performance. Goodyear, more driven.
It has been a tight game throughout. Auburn pulling out to a 10-point lead early this quarter after that touchdown to Williams, but boy, Kansas State turned it over when it got inside the 5 in the first half. 3 missed field goals, including a 22-yarder here in the second half. But Jake Waters still fighting. He led Bill Snyder's team to a come-from-behind win against Iowa State on the road, and did that primarily running the football. Rushed for 138 yards in that game. We'll see if he uses his legs at all here in the 4th quarter. 3 straight shots down the field, and trouble in the pocket and sacked at the 29-yard line. Chris Frost was back there for Auburn along with Anthony Swain.
It's a lot of different ways to keep Jake Waters in the pocket. That time at the very last second, they moved Chris Frost, number 17, outside to bring pressure, and from the field, Justin Garrett bottling up Jake Waters. This has been a theme we've seen all night. They have not wanted him to get outside.
And I like that call because everything's been deep routes for Kansas State. So taking routes, time to develop, you get to him before the routes could develop. He couldn't throw the ball to anybody.
3rd sack today for Auburn. Looked like they're bringing pressure here on 2nd and 15. Here they come again. Waters with time. Everybody covered. Waters flips it downfield, and it is intercepted. Trevon Reed with the pick near midfield.
Jake Waters has made some nice plays in scramble situations, and this is one he'd like to have back. You see him scrambling, and he just throws it right to the Auburn defender. Tyler Lockett was coming across the field. Absolutely. Watch from the boundary all the way down here. He comes wide open, and Jake never sees him.
Well, I think it's 1, you've got to throw away. 2, it's a poor throw where he wanted to go with it. 3, give Trevon Reed credit. We've seen him lock down some dudes down the field, and remember, converted wide receiver. He's got hands. He's got ball skills. You saw it right there.
They fumble the ball, and boy, Kansas State had a chance to recover it, but Artis Payne got it back. They tried to hand it off to Lewis as he came in motion. Randall Evans was right there for Kansas State and could not recover it.
Wow. And he never even knew the ball was supposed to go. Miscommunication with Nick Marshall and Ricardo Lewis. Ricardo Lewis wasn't even looking for the football. How fortunate were they to get that back? Another missed opportunity for Kansas State.
Loss of 4 on the play. Letting the play clock run down inside 10 seconds. And Marshall to the air. Going for Artis Payne. Good catch. Pass was behind him. Broken tackle. And Artis Payne out of bounds after he got the first down to the 36.
David mentioned it earlier. The biggest question mark this offseason was replacing Trey Mason. And I've been really impressed watching Cameron Artis Payne. As I said, the new improved, the quicker, more athletic version. Not just running the ball, but his hands as well and his involvement in the pass game.
He'll get it here. And there's not much there to try to cut it back. Picked up maybe a yard. Travis Green there defensively.
And we talked about Nick Marshall taking that next step too, because this offense with the weapons now, if he's better in the passing game, it's going to be really hard to stop this offense for anybody because there's so many weapons and they run it so well. Another check down for Nick Marshall on that long play to Cameron Artis-Payne.
Auburn inside the Kansas State 35. You would think at this point in the game a touchdown would put it away. Marshall, and that pass deflected. Oh, almost picked off. McDaniel had a shot at it. Hard to tell if it was at the line of scrimmage or a linebacker that deflected it.
It's Corey Johnson, who's had a huge game for Kansas State on defense. He initially deflected that play. Nick Marshall was looking for Sam because look at 32. Just get his hand up, just barely tips it. He's been really good in the run and catch game, and there was a big-time opportunity for Denzel McDaniel to get that pick.
Marshall on 3rd and long, completes it to Williams for a first down inside the 25-yard line, and they're having trouble covering him.
And guys, I think this is why fans expected this offense this year to be more balanced and more efficient in the pass game. Dave, you mentioned Nick Marshall, year 2 in the system. Understanding when to check the football then. We've seen that time and time again. But you add a Duke Williams to a Sammy Coates on the perimeter of the field. 90% of Auburn's receiving yards from a year ago came back. So all signs point to this being a more balanced attack. It's just been hot and cold early this season with Nick Marshall throwing the football.
More passing yards than rushing yards. Got a penalty flag here. There was some movement. Anything that the SEC schools...
72 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Anything some of the SEC schools might be able to glean from what Kansas State has done defensively in this game?
I don't think so. I don't think there's been anything scheme-related. I think Kansas State, for the most part, has played better up front. And I think SEC schools need to know, still watching the passing performance from Auburn, hey, we can take the run away, make Nick Marshall have to throw to beat us. That gives us our best chance.
Jeremy Johnson is in the game at... Well, they got him lined up.
Wide receiver.
They got Johnson lined up as a wide receiver, yeah. But they got Bray lined up to run the Wildcat. He hands it off to Grant, who gets outside to the 20-yard line. They'll come up short of the first down, but he got about 12.
And I wonder if that's just part of Gus Malzahn and the deception. Hey, look over here. We got our backup quarterback. He's a better thrower. He's playing at the top of the screen. Oh, yeah, we're going to run Corey Grant, our best player, as far away as possible from him as we can. But we knew we were going to see Jeremy Johnson at some point in this game. Interesting right now with the game on the line, how this offense has been moving the last couple drives. Nick Marshall out of the game.
And Johnson not sure where he's supposed to line up here. He said, I'm not used to playing receiver. Gray lined up as the Wildcat quarterback. He'll keep it this time. And brought down at the line of scrimmage. Good job up front by K-State.
We talked about putting Jeremy Johnson in when this offense wasn't grooving. It's in a groove now. So I'm not sure why you put in Jeremy Johnson now. Earlier when they were really struggling, I'd say yes, but Nick Marshall's dealing.
Well, and now do you let him take a snap here, 3rd and 2?
That's what I was going to say. He's not even touching the ball. So I really don't know what the benefit is right now with Jeremy Johnson on the field. There you go.
Marshall runs back on the field. The play clock down to 11. Marshall on the keeper. And he pinballs off defenders and gets the first down to the 12-yard line.
And you don't see much of this from Auburn. A year ago you did. This is quarterback power. You saw this with Cam Newton all the time. No Trey Mason. I don't know if they don't feel as comfortable running between the tackles, but Nick Marshall, look at his upright style and short yardage. He gets pinged around a little bit. That's the play I'd run with Jeremy Johnson if I was going to run it. Yeah. He's 220, 230.
Yeah, and he's stronger running inside. But again, you know, their offensive line firing off and how they've been more physical here in the second half, I think, has been a big key to Auburn's success on offense.
Cameron Artis-Payne trying to go off right tackle. Gets to the 10-yard line.
And we talk about the tempo, and again, this is a situation up by 10 points deep down in Kansas State's territory. Gus Malzahn is willing to let this clock bleed. Take your time. Look over to the sidelines. Make sure you're in the right play. Trying to suffocate Kansas State defense.
And back-to-back 9+ play drives now. You hadn't done that all night, and now you're putting it together, and you're able to do the wear-down effect that you thought you would.
2 5-minute drives here in the second half. The second down. Hardest pain between the tackles, and he gets pushed back. Travis Britz there for K-State. So another third down and long coming up. We're inside 7 minutes to go in the fourth. Auburn leading Kansas State by 10.
You guys think knockout punch if Auburn can score a touchdown here?
Yeah.
But how big is this play? Again, you know, Duke Williams not on the field right now. Their best receiver for Auburn.
They can get a first down without getting into the end zone as Marshall throws incomplete. Tried to hit Uzama. That hit the back pylon, so now it's fourth down. There's a penalty marker down, though.
Holding. Offense, number 51. 10-yard penalty, third down.
Third down. They're not going to decline that? Got to imagine Kansas State's going to decline the penalty and make them kick the field goal.
Yeah, see, he's saying right here. He's talking over to Bill Snyder. There you go.
Will be declined. Fourth down.
And so fourth down and 7. 3 points would force Kansas State to have to score 2 touchdowns in 6:32.
That was poorly handled in the red zone for Auburn. I mean, they had everything grooving, and then they go Wildcat, they go Jeremy Johnson, and just that was weird. It was very weird execution. It kind of got them out of the rhythm that they were working in.
Now, field goals have not been easy tonight. Saw a 22-yarder missed the same goalpost. Carlson made a 34-yarder earlier in the game. It's a 25-yard attempt. Play clock at 1. And that's no problem for Carlson. And it's a 13-point lead now for Auburn. Time now to answer the Athletic Trivia question. The last time Auburn beat a non-conference ranked opponent on the road. On the road, not neutral site, 30 years ago, was Florida State. 42-41, October 13th, 1984.
42-41. 84?
Yeah.
That's Bo? Is that?
Oh.
Is that pre-Bo or is that? It should be right. That's right in the Bo Jackson wheelhouse, isn't it?
It's a long time ago, man.
I mean, I was 2. I was 2. So I mean,
I can't remember. I can't remember that.
Auburn down by 13, 6:28 remaining. Kansas State needs 2 touchdowns. And a game of missed chances for Kansas State as that kick sails out of bounds. And the wind took that thing, and it was already hooking, but the wind blew it out.
Better than kicking to Lockett. He's had some success tonight on punt returns.
Although as a receiver, he's been shut out here in the second half, targeted just once. There were 2 teams that beat Auburn last year, Florida State and LSU. Tigers on Saturday Night Football, ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels, taking on Mississippi State. What do you guys like in this matchup?
I actually like Mississippi State in this matchup. I think Dak Prescott, the way he's playing, that style of defense against still a very young and inexperienced skill group at LSU.
Death Valley at night, where dreams come to die. It's a tough place to play at night, man.
Any time of the day. But Mississippi State, with all that hype in the offseason, this is the chance to show.
Waters to the air. Steps up, takes off. And Waters taken down by Mincy. Gain of just a couple. Let's take a look at tonight's college football rankings, brought to you by Capital One. Florida State and Clemson, ABC, 8 Eastern time. We'll find out how good the Seminoles are without Winston in the first half.
Yeah, there's a lot of games here, you know, with playoff implications that you talk about. That Florida State game, of course, Alabama, Florida.
Now, Waters had trouble there, dropped the ball on the snap, and does deliver the pass to Lockett, his first reception of the second half.
I think it's an opportunity for Jake Waters really to kind of demonstrate some leadership and, you know, to be vocal. It's not something he's used to. Showing up last year as a JUCO transfer, didn't really believe that he deserved that right, but Bill Snyder's wanted him to take more of that role. What better time than now?
Waters on 3rd and short, finds Sexton for a first down in Auburn territory, trying to fight his way out of bounds, and does at the 45-yard line. A 13-yard gain.
Lockett hasn't been the guy, but Sexton has. A lot of targets, a lot of big plays in the second half when they've needed it.
You know, at the end of the day, guys, Auburn's defense is still giving up 7 points. That's it. They've been lights out tonight.
That was a question, at least you guys had coming in. Waters, and over the top, knocking it down was Reed. Jumped over Deontay Burton, but did not make contact, apparently.
And I've been impressed, guys, because this was my biggest question mark coming into the game was this defense. Take a look
First
at
of all,
Reed.
he made contact.
Well, I mean, he's right in front of the line, Judge.
I mean, there's no doubt he made contact. That's,
yeah,
I mean,
he got there a little bit early, it looked like.
He shielded his face from even being able to see the ball when it was coming in.
Waters standing tall, delivering to Sexton to the 30-yard line. First down. Sexton saying, I got to go out. He's been running a lot tonight. He's got 9 catches for 100 yards.
Where's that pass rush from Auburn defensively, right? One thing, a big kind of theme we had coming into this game. Got to get pressure down these obvious passing situations.
Waters passed too wide for Charles Jones. Incomplete.
But going back to Auburn's defense, guys, just inconsistent. You look at first half versus Arkansas, week 1, getting bullied, pushed around versus the second half of that game. They were lights out. San Jose State, they give up explosive plays. But tonight, for the most part, they've looked really, really good. And I think if you left this game, your biggest question, you'd have some doubts at least, maybe a little bit more about Auburn's offense.
Waters in trouble, gets away from the defender, but there's no play. A penalty flag thrown. There are 2 flags down, 1 thrown around the 13, 1 thrown on the goal line. Actually, there's 3 flags, 1 on the other side of the field. So does the good defense by Auburn outweigh shaky offensive play in the big picture looking forward for the Tigers?
Well, illegal substitution on the defense. 12 men on the field, 5-yard penalty, second down.
I'm not sure the defense has been that good. I think there's been a lot of self-inflicted wounds by Kansas State, too. I mean, I think they've been better than you may have thought, but there's still some big question marks on this defense. Kansas State hadn't been able to take care of it. The field goal kicker is terrible. Lockett drops a touchdown.
They've only given up 35 rushing yards, though.
Yeah, no, and that's good, but they've had, I mean, Kansas State's had a lot of opportunities, and they've kind of shot themselves in the foot, but
there's been some one-on-one.
They've made some plays.
Yeah,
they've made some plays.
In the secondary, which I know was a big question mark for a lot of people. And Trevon Reed and these guys have made plays one-on-one. I don't have any concerns yet about Auburn's offense at all. I mean, you can't just look at this game and say, well, you know, Kansas State found the key to unlocking the secret.
Second down and 5. Waters has time, going for Lockett in the end zone, broken up. Jonathan Ford, the safety, coming over to help Reed. Incomplete. Third down and 5.
I think for the most part tonight, the safety play has been really good from Auburn. And I know that was a question again. Jermaine Whitehead not in the starting lineup, but you see here Jonathan Ford, how quickly he gets over to get involved.
And plays the ball well.
Yeah, on this play. I think you have to like that if you're the coaching staff from Auburn.
Got the field spread completely. Jake Waters can take off in this situation, get a first if he needs to.
Waters on 3rd and 5, looking for somebody to get open. Waters throwing to the sideline, coming back for the ball is the guy that has bailed him out all night, Curry Sexton. Big catch at the 14.
And it's frustrating if you're Auburn because you got man-to-man outside, guys locked up, and you're counting on a pass rush keeping Jake Waters in the pocket. You've seen time and time again him working to his right. That's where he's been the most accurate throwing on the run. See the discrepancy here. Receiver, everybody counting on Lockett being the man, but Sexton making the most plays.
They are reviewing that last reception. We'll step aside for a moment. 20-7 Auburn. Watch this catch as replay confirmed he actually got both feet down, dragged that right foot, only needed the one, obviously. Career high 10 catches for Curry Sexton. And his last 3 receptions, 13, 12, and 13 yards, all for first downs. Kansas State's not done. Down 13, got to score quickly. and get the ball back. They do only have 2 timeouts, though. Trailing Auburn by 13, 4:32 to go in the 4th. They are 1 for 4 in the red zone. A turnover, missed field goal. 9th play of the drive. It'll be a pass over the middle. Sexton. He's to the 5 and then pushed out. Did not get the first down. Clock will stop those who shoved out around the 5-yard line.
It's a great job. It's a great play design. We've talked about Lockett all night, even though he hasn't been the guy Sexton has. Lockett comes in motion across the formation. And watch the miscommunication by Auburn. They have to, it's man coverage. They got to in and out that. Safety's got to stay over the inside and take away Sexton. Easy pitch and catch.
2nd down and a yard. Going to be a run play to Jones. Got the first down. Did he get the end zone? No. Tackled at the 1. Clock will stop here as they reset the balls. We're inside 4 minutes to go. 1st and goal for Kansas State.
So you got to know that if you're Kansas State, you got to get a play call in, get lined up quickly. Time is of the essence right now.
Waters quickly under center. Quarterback sneak and penalty flag down.
Too many men on the field again.
Page, the previous play is under review.
So we'll look at the last play here.
Call on the field that he's down. Take a look at where the ball is before a knee or anything else touches on the ground. Kind of hard to tell from that angle. Again, you need conclusive video evidence to overturn this call.
There you go.
So looking for a knee to hit the ground or an elbow.
No, he's not.
No, he's down.
There's the ball right
there. Very
good
call, yep.
At the 1-yard line.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. Nice job, guys, with the zoom.
Now, they tried to run the quarterback sneak there. Do you come back with that or something different here, guys? You got some shots, but obviously you want to get it in quick here. You don't want to waste time when you're at the 1-yard line. They turned it over down here in the first half.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. 1st down.
Get lined up quick here too, because after the review, remember the clock's going to run. You need to get out there quick and get ready to be able to run that in as fast as you can.
I'd like to see Jake Waters in the shotgun here, quarterback power run downhill, get that +1 advantage. Look with a head full of steam. You know,
yeah, but the ball has to.
It's not going anywhere.
But the ball has to travel all the way back to him, 5 yards deep, and Auburn's been doing a good job in the line of scrimmage. I'd rather him just take it under center and go.
I know what neither of you want to see, and that's the Wildcat. Which
and that's
we've
probably
seen
what they'll
tonight.
come out in.
We've seen Charles Jones lined up in that.
There they are.
There it is.
Shotgun snap.
You'll love it if he gets it in, though. See if he runs right behind big number 48 as fullback. First and goal at the 1. Here's Jones going outside. Touchdown!
Play's designed to go inside. It's a nice job of patient running by Jones, using his speed to get to the edge and dive in the end zone.
Just what Pash said to do. Go Wildcat.
How about 5 touchdowns for him, all out of the Wildcat, and a new kicker, Matthew McCrane, on for the extra point after the missed 22-yarder by Jan Cantelli, and the Bronx cheer for McCrane. Kansas State not done. 3:49 on the clock. It's a 6-point game in Manhattan. Well, Bill Snyder told us that quarterback Jake Waters really became more of a vocal leader in their come-from-behind win against Iowa State 2 weeks ago. You're seeing some of that now on the sideline as Kansas State is back within 6 with 3:49 to go in the 4th. Onside kick or kick it deep if you are K-State. 2 timeouts for the Wildcats remaining.
I'm kicking it deep. I'm putting my faith and trust in my defense that for the majority of this game has been completely lights out.
Pollock, you agree?
Yeah. And I tell you what, I think Auburn will have a decision to make because they've done the damage in the passing game. That's what's really done a good job. So are they willing to throw it and put the game in the hands of Nick Marshall?
Auburn's expecting the onside kick because their guys are at the 20 and the 25-yard line. And they are going to kick it deep here. So it'll be a touchback. It will come out to the 25. Auburn ball, leading Kansas State by 6. Monday Night Football comes your way from New York with the Jets hosting the Chicago Bears. Starting with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's at 6 Eastern. Kickoff at 8:15. Atlanta was thumping Tampa Bay earlier tonight. Here, it's been a good game. Auburn by 6. Tigers have the ball. Kansas State with 2 timeouts left. Payne, big hole on first down to the 31 for 6 yards. Tripped up by McDaniel.
And that was huge, getting chunky yardage on first down. That's really where Kansas State had so much success defensively. Stopping them on first down, putting Auburn behind the chains. This drive's so much more manageable now because of that success.
Auburn taking its time too, getting that clock to wind down before they snap it again. Start on third down. They've been terrific in the second half. Will they even need a third down conversion? 2nd and 4. Artis Payne again and picks a hole and finds the first down to the 36-yard line.
There's that offensive line firing off the ball. You know, when you need them the most, just playing well. Take a look at these guys, just shooting off the ball, hat on a hat, just getting some push. You get an extra blocker at the point of attack, you pull the backside guard, Chad Slade. That's what we're accustomed to seeing.
Got a timeout taken by Kansas State, so 1 timeout left for the Wildcats. We said going into tonight we would learn something more about Auburn. What do you guys take away from this game? What stands out to you about what we've seen here tonight, even if they hang on and win?
I think a lot of people wondered about their unconventional ways of finding a way to win if it would happen again this year. This was kind of unconventional. I mean, Kansas State with a lot of opportunities that they messed up on, and Auburn got the passing game going. I think you realize that Nick Marshall can throw the football, and when you need him, you can depend on him in the passing game. Still curious about the offensive line and the defense, but moving forward.
I think the passing game is still inconsistent. I think that's still going to be a question moving forward. Once Auburn gets into their tough SEC schedule, if there's a physical defense out there that can play sound fundamentals in assignment football like Kansas State has tonight, this offense is stoppable if you're a defense out there.
Can Kansas State get a stop? Down to 1 timeout remaining. Another first down for Auburn. Make it awfully tough for the Wildcats to even get the ball back. Artis Payne gets back to the line of scrimmage, was hit in the backfield initially by DeCorey Johnson. Kansas State uses its final timeout, 2:50 remaining, 2nd down and long coming up.
Well, and you take a look at Auburn's schedule, I mean, it's absolutely brutal. We talk about how the SEC West is the 9th best division in the NFL. Take a look at this stretch right here.
That's every game.
I mean, LSU all the way to Georgia, week in, week out, that's ridiculous. You've got 3 teams on this schedule that won at least 10 games a year ago.
And then you end with Bama.
That's just brutal on the road, by the way.
Yeah.
You guys talked about the close wins earlier from last year, but I mean, isn't that what good teams do? I mean, Florida State just blew through everybody last year. That's unusual.
Yeah.
I'll say this too, though, big picture, regardless of what happens, tonight looks good on Kansas State, and it looks good on the Big 12 too.
Yeah. I mean, and tonight's this is important because think about when Oklahoma plays Kansas State down the road. Or Baylor. Yeah, you're going to be comparing this. The College Football Committee is going to be comparing like opponents in victories and score discrepancy. And
because there's no conference championship game in the Big 12. 2nd down and 10. Here's Marshall. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. So the next snap will come with about 2:05 on the clock, 3rd and long. Now, if you're Gus Malzahn, do you say, okay, I trust you, Nick Marshall, to throw the football here in this situation?
Sure I do, but again, guys, I don't see Duke Williams on the field. There's no #1 out there on the field right now for Auburn. He's been their best big play receiver. Because of that, I think if you're Gus Malzahn, you put the ball in Nick Marshall's hand and say, look, if it's not there, you have to have the ability to go run it and make something happen.
I think he's going to call timeout here and then make a decision about that.
Sammy Coates hadn't been on the field either a lot. So both those guys are two big home run hitters.
So one timeout left here as Malzahn takes it with 2:06 on the clock. 3rd down and 9. Nick Marshall is 16 of 30. We have seen a couple of deflected balls too at the line of scrimmage and also in the linebacking core. We might not even be in this situation. Auburn might have to be driving for points to win the game here, if not for Lockett dropping the ball in the end zone, and it's picked off. And then 3 missed field goals, including the 22-yarder. Now that one was a bad snap in the first half, but this one right in the middle of the field just pushed it. 19
points Kansas State gave away in this game. Remember that early fumble by Jake Waters led to an Auburn field goal. We talk about Bill Snyder's keys to victory. Penalties, they've been great. They haven't had one yet. Turnovers, they've had 3, leading to 6 points. And of course, special teams, 0 for 3 on field goals. They kicked the opening kickoff out of bounds. It's tough to overcome the defending SEC champion, even though you're playing at home and you don't follow that formula.
Now you got Sammy Coates back on the field. You got Duke Williams back on the field. The 2 playmakers at the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen.
And it will be a pass. Marshall pumps, going deep, got him in. It's caught inside the 30. Might be the game clincher as Duke Williams pulls it in.
Want to find out if this team's better throwing the football when the game's on the line. You dial up a double move, slant and go. Against Danzel McDaniel, that is a tremendous route. And there is a very accurate throw. Something we haven't seen a lot from Nick Marshall when he's thrown it deep down the field tonight. Makes the biggest throw of the game when the game was on the line.
A 39-yard strike to Williams. What does that tell you about how the head coach feels about his quarterback taking a shot there, 3rd down?
I don't think you do that a year ago.
No way.
I don't know if he had that much confidence a year ago to do it, but now that's the play that wins the ball game for you. And Nick Marshall, man, over and over. Last year he had some bad moments, but he was clutch against Mississippi State. He was clutch against Auburn. He was clutch in late moments against Alabama. As much as you've seen some inconsistencies late in games when you've needed plays, when he's been an Auburn Tiger, he's made those plays for you.
David, I don't think people really respect his success and how quickly he was able to find that. Remember, guys, he wasn't in spring football last year for Auburn.
Yeah.
He was basically learning on the fly week in, week out against all those teams you talked about in SEC competition. Played his best football late, making plays earlier this year. Talked about all the quarterback attrition in the SEC this year with A.J. McCarron and Mettenberger and Aaron Murray and Johnny Manziel and Connor Shaw all gone. Big advantage Auburn had coming into this year was getting Nick Marshall back as a starting quarterback.
Tonight's Wrangler 5-star player of the game is Chris Frost. Had a couple sacks, a forced fumble. The defense gave up just 40 rushing yards against a Kansas State team that had been running the ball well. Jake Waters rushed for 138 yards 2 weeks ago. He had -7 rushing yards now. Also had some fumbles as Auburn will have to snap it one more time. Marshall takes a knee and that's it. Auburn escapes Manhattan with a 20-14 win. And it's one of the newcomers, Duke Williams. Comes up big. A game-clinching 39-yard reception. But give a quarterback credit, too, for putting it on the money, Nick Marshall. 20-14, the final. Auburn beats Kansas State. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, Sam Ponder, I'm Dave Pasch. More from Manhattan later. Right now, SportsCenter.